Welcome to the Blessed Brainstorming. My name is Chris Johnson, and these on this panel, if you're a guest or a founder, welcome. I want to change things up a little bit. I started this off one way, and I think it kind of twirled out of control there, and I want to explain why. We had two amazing companies that came on to talk to us about infrastructure, which I fell in love with, and also the water company, which I fell in love with. Okay. My big thing here is my biggest fear was cross promoting and stuff like that. You all understand that. But what we're doing is we are introducing companies to Obless. We're not necessarily introducing companies to Unpassive. We want them to know what Obless is and how they can help us. So we kind of went crazy on it. Everyone's got all these wonderful ideas. And I did a lot of studying over the last 4 or 5 days and found out a lot of these ideas are absolutely phenomenal. But because of laws and codes and rules, some of these things can't even be done, which is a shame. For instance, tiny houses, which to me is amazing. There's got to be certain house sizes that can only be built. And so there's only a few cities or states that actually allow this to happen. Now, in other countries, I don't think it'll be a problem. So what I want to do is explain real quick on that structure. I already know through Feline what she can do, and I'm still blown away by that. I already know what the other gentleman has with the water company. I'm totally blown away by that. But the main thing is we're getting off track. We're building a city. We want to start with homelessness. And another thing, we had a wonderful gentleman on here. You might be on here tonight named Mark. And he was, to me, he was an amazing person to actually come on here and talk about it. I ask that you respect anyone that comes on as a guest and talks. I think he blew us all away. And as you all know, he is a founder. He's also has a team. So I'm amazed by that. So anyone that we bring on here, whether they are homeless or they have an illness, let's show respect and give them a kudos for doing what they're doing, because what they're doing is they're educating us. So what I wanted to do is get back on track with why we really started. Listen, I'm very excited that we are going to launch Unpassive, but the excitement for me is Obless, starting these projects off. Now, people are still sending me projects as we speak, and they're amazing. Don't stop. Julie Wayne has got a link that puts, I think she's still there, in the back office, your name, your occupation, what you do. What I'm looking for now, and I'm going to start out with Joy 6, not just yet. Joy 6 had a lady that was could not make it, so I know we'll get her on another time, who actually deals with homelessness. What I want to do is educate not only myself, but all of us on what they deal with on a daily basis. There's many reasons why people are homeless. Okay. And I also know there's people on this panel. See, what I'm looking for is right now is professionals that's going to educate us. I know a lot of you do a lot of wonderful things for people all over the world, and I want you to keep doing them. But right now, we all need to be educated on to handle people and understand what they're going through, so we understand it. This way, when we go to help these individuals, we all know to be respectful, compassionate, never judgmental for anybody, because every situation is different. I also talked to Nancy. I know I have some P&Gers on here tonight, which I love. Had a little texting conversation with Nancy. I would like to get the P&G, Veronica, Nancy, David, and they're going to explain to you their structure, what they are doing in P&G, because that's what we're missing here. Yep. We're building a city, but we have to have that structure first. And because of the laws, legalities, rules, my God, governments, and every government's different, we all have to understand that. So what I ask you all to do, no matter where you come from, check out your country's rules, your laws. If you know a lawyer in that country you could talk to, because I want you completely to understand what Obless is going to do, but we have to do it right. Ash Mufareh doesn't do anything wrong. All right. Remember, we're representing the greatest company in the world, the most giving company in the world. We want to make sure, especially me, I don't want to make a mistake. I'm not perfect in any ways, never have been, never will be. But for this, you darn well tootin', I want to be perfect about it. I don't want to miss a beat. I don't want to miss a rule. I want to abide every law. And if we can't build tiny houses in an area in Michigan, well, I'm going to build bigger ones then. That's my attitude. It's not going to stop me from doing what needs to be done. All right. We do have other organizations. I was talking with Marty, Robin, and Julie last night about, and I won't say their names, other organizations that help people. But we also find out that the people that run these organizations are getting anywhere from $200,000 to $800,000 salary to do this. That's not what we do in Impassive. Nobody is here to line their pockets except through Impassive and what it's going to offer to us. But when we go out and help people, it's about helping people. All right. So if you have the mindset is I'm going to make some money off these people, no, I want you to give with your heart. All right. That's when you're truly going to feel what Bless is all about. So tonight, and Joy 6 is going to fill in and let us educate us a little bit. But I also, if you're on here and you're a professional in any means that you're dealing with homelessness, even a story to let us understand this, because I want us all to understand. So Joyce is going to start us off. Joy 6, I appreciate you. I know we'll get your friend on here again. And everyone on here, sit back, enjoy, and be ready for an education. But we will continue the ideas because, like I said, everyone's going to have a voice in Bless. One more thing, Joyce, because I'm on a platform here again. I can't get off it. Remember this, Bless is going to hit a scale bigger than any company in the world to help people. But remember this, each one of you have teams or people that you got into this, your own little family, we'll call them. Each one of you can do your own Bless projects also. All right. We're talking about when a tsunami comes in and wipes out a whole area. That's where Bless is going to be big help scale wise. But man, you might have neighbors that just their house burned down. You might have a family member that just lost all their siblings. That's what I'm talking about. Everyone can do this. So Joyce, on that note, I'd like to introduce my beautiful sister from Michigan, Joy 6. Educate away, young lady. Thank you.
Hello, Chris. Hi, Narelle. Hello, everyone. That was my friend calling me right now. So she was returning my phone call. Of course. She was in a meeting and she couldn't get out. So I am not Katrina, but I can, give you some of the things that I've experienced and gone through as a social worker, working in a community mental health and working in a Center for Family Health, a medical center as well, a federally qualified medical center, which opens the door to healthcare for all. So as a social worker, we encounter so many things with people and their and issues with homelessness, whether it's poverty, whether it's domestic violence, or whatever issues that present. So one thing I just want to say about homelessness is that no one ever woke up one morning and said, "I think I'll be homeless today," or "I think I just live on the street." A lot of people, even people that we encounter every day are just one paycheck away from being homeless. It's like one paycheck or one step away from being homeless. And homelessness is, in general, can't put it all in one ball and say, we're going to help everyone that's homeless a certain type of way, because each person is an individual. And so each person got to that place for some reason, whether it was, whether it was being in domestic violence, whether it was drugs, whether it was losing a job, mental illness. So there's so many reasons, as Chris said earlier, for people being homeless, and those reasons vary. So we have to treat each person like an individual. And we have to go into communities. So each community is going to be different. Each country is going to be different. And it's going to be addressing each person as an individual, each community in each country for what issues that you face in that country. So as we look at homelessness, we look at the individual, and then we go into the communities, and we have to talk to each person, talk to the people. find out what the person is in need of, find out the reason that they ended up homeless. Because if we put everyone in one box, we will not be able to touch that. We're going to encounter so many issues that people are dealing with as homeless, for the reasons for them being homeless. So we have to look at the whole person and address that person as a whole person. We look at the spiritual, the mental, the physical, the emotional. So there's so many areas of a person that we have to look at, and we find out why that person ended up homeless. And then we begin to talk to them and address that issue. Some people are there because, like you say, if they're out there, some mental illness that they're suffering with, they have medical issues. Maybe they ran away. Maybe it was through sex trafficking. Maybe it was domestic violence. Maybe they were pregnant and they got put out of their home, or someone lost their job. So there's so many areas of homelessness that has to be addressed when we look at it. And then when we also talk about homelessness, people are living on the streets. They're living from friends and families' home to families' home. They're living on couches. They're finding places anywhere that they can be to try and get shelter. And, like I said, they're not there by choice. And so as we look at homelessness, we're going to encounter issues that people have. It's like they can't meet their basic needs. So if you can't meet your basic needs, you're not thinking about the next thing. You're thinking about, how am I going to eat? Where am I going to sleep? And you think of a family out there, a mother with children, she's thinking about her children. Where are they going to sleep? How are they going to eat? How am I going to keep them safe? So there's so many issues that deals with homelessness. And if that person is there and we go to them as one unit and we say, well, you're homeless because of this. We can't judge people. And I know no one here is judging. So we can't judge. We have to always have an open mind and always be ready to step in where we can and to meet them where they are. If we can begin to meet people where they are and address that person, one person at a time, we'll be able to change the masses. We'll be up against, drug use. We'll be up against mental health. We'll be up against people needing, they don't have the resources. They don't have internet. They may have a cell phone. They may have a doctor's appointment, but they can't meet that because, they don't have the means to get there. They don't have transportation. So there's so many barriers that keeps a person from getting to that basic need. And they end up back in that on a hamster's wheel, running around and round in circles. So, but whatever we can do, and I know Bless is there just to help in any way that, we can. So whatever we can do, one person at a time, to address that person as an individual, where they are, what they need, and, as a whole person. So if once we're looking at that, we're up against governments and so many other things, so many other entities that's out there and agencies that are out there that are willing to help, but they don't have the solution either. So it's like, if we give a man a fish, they'll eat for a day. But if we teach them to fish, we can help them for a lifetime, and we can help to alleviate and to solve some of the issues with homelessness. So anyone that has anything else to add in there, this is just some of the things that I've encountered, people that just don't have the means and the resources to get to the places or the things that they need. So that's kind of all I have right now, Chris. And, anyone that has questions, if I can answer them, but there's so many other people that have more experience than I do as well. So they'll be able to jump in and, help as well.
Wonderful, Joyce.
Thank you.
You guys, I'm not going to repeat everything she just said because she just said it all perfectly. We understand that we do have a lot of things to fix. And one of the most important things is, as Ash said, once we get into that little city or that little village or that little house, when they go out the back door, well, there's also checkups. Okay, how do we find a person if they're homeless? All right, that's where Bless is going to come in. One of my goals is to make sure when that person gets through that door, that end door, that they got a place to stay and set themselves up, and we're going to help them with that. Very, very important. Joyce, how would you deal, real quick, just one question. I know that this always isn't part of everything you do, but let's say that we do come across an individual, lost a family member, and just lost everything in life, what is the first step that you would have to do to deal with that individual to help them?
So if they lost everything or lost a family member, I mean, same thing, you would go in and do an assessment. You would talk to that person and find out what they need right at this moment. So you're going to look at what they need right now versus trying to help them for down the line for, years or months out, but you'll look at what they need right now and try to get them, if they lost everything, find out what they need, get them, if they need housing, if they need food, they need shelter, they may need clothing, get them into grief counseling. And also with that too, I didn't say that with homelessness, get people into counseling, get them the help that they need. So if you, like you said, if they checkups and check-ins, if we are supplying them with the homes and jobs and all those things, but they go out that door and there's no resources or no counseling or medical or whatever else that they need to set up, they're going to end up back on that hamster wheel again. So I would definitely, do the assessment, find out what they need, get the basic needs met first, and then get them into counseling, grief, whatever they will need to, help for. Because remember, grief also is not, even if it's the loss or the death of a family member, it's a loss of resources, a loss of a job, it's a loss of a family, it could be a divorce, it could be domestic violence. So there's so many things that go along with grief. So grief is not just losing a loved one, it's just losing something that's dear to you or something that losing your home. So a lot of that falls in there too.
Thank you, Joyce. Now I know we have two hands. Does anyone have any questions before I talk to Dr. and David to ask Joyce of anything you want? She is a qualified professional social worker. So as you think of them, Joyce is going to be here for us for a little bit. And if they come up, let us know. Joyce, thank you. I will go on to Dr. Massaggio. Please unmute yourself. What do you have, please?
Yeah, hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Joyce, for sharing. Sorry, it's in the middle of the night, so I'm not showing my camera tonight. Actually, it's in the morning here in Norway. So I really like what you said, because that's exactly what social workers do. I'm a social worker, and I will share more my story and experience from Botswana, because that's where I practiced a lot as a social worker. In Botswana, because Chris Johnson said we could share about countries and what's happening in countries, the social workers who work for government social workers are the ones who do rapid assessment for any case. So we could use government social workers to assess homeless people. And homelessness may not necessarily mean people are living in the street. Just like Joyce said, it's every case is unique. And every case has to be assessed according to its own uniqueness, because there are many reasons why people are homeless. So I worked as a private practitioner, but whoever I was helping, I was always getting information from the government social workers, because they have details of every case regarding needs within the communities. So I would, as OBLES, enter through the government social workers to say, I would like to help this way. And I'm thinking, I have resources so much. Could you do a rapid assessment for us? As long as they know that there is going to be help for the community, or there's going to be support for their clients, they will go out and do that type of assessment, or they would already present the cases to you. Now, commonly in Botswana, most of the people who are homeless, or would you say have no home, they may not necessarily be living in the street, but maybe they have very uncomfortable little homes, no heating system, no bed, sleeping. I mean, I've had children sleeping in crawls, if you know what I mean, like with goats out in the outdoor, because they had nothing. So they would do that, and they would give you the record. So, and again, often children in Botswana, for example, would be having no homes, because sometimes when parents die, people take over their inheritance. And relatives can take over the inheritance and run away with it. So the children will lose the home has been sold, the children will lose all other things that are basic needs. That's why I like what Joy said, to say grief and loss is not only about losing the loved one, it's also multiple types of losses as well. So almost every homeless person needs therapy. So as a private practitioner in Botswana, what I do, the way I work with the social workers, is I enter in with my grief therapy skills. I have not been building houses for homeless people, but I have been targeting orphaned children and giving them grief therapy. And they are so many, or they were so many when we started actually this particular program. So what we do is we gather them together, because we follow the culture of the community. We gather them together, talk to them, especially as age mates who are orphan children, and then we take them away into a campsite where it's like a life skill school training. So we give them life skills there, but we also address their grief, because many of them have lost their children, their parents, because of HIV/AIDS. Many of them are experiencing these multiple losses of lack of inheritance, because relatives have taken away such. Many of them are not effective in their education because they are just traumatized, and they are thinking about other issues. So they have common issues among them. So we have got this class of, would you say, you can call them homeless, but we could say we have got this class of grieving adolescents who are experiencing problems in kind of similar ways. So then we group them together, take them to the campsite. There can be 30 of them, there can be 40 of them, there can be 200 of them, but we divide them into groups. And then they are attended by specific trained social workers and psychologists to give them this grief. We call it grief therapy, but it covers a lot of other issues because they have got multiple other losses. These children also may be experiencing abuse of some kind because of their vulnerability. Some of them are, because they have lost their parents, then they are unsafe. Relatives who take them in may be even abusing them sexually. So they are experiencing sexual abuse, they are experiencing stigma from the community, they are having educational challenges, they are experiencing poverty. There's loss after loss after loss after loss. It takes time to listen to their story. And normally, when you deal with a group, it's more efficient because they empathize. There are people who are experiencing similar issues. So it is easier to address a group than to address individuals. But I would say, if you do the kind of approach that I'm doing, then gather those that are experiencing similar challenges together to offer them this kind of grief therapy. While at the same time, obviously homelessness, you will be providing basic needs like houses, like food, like water. Those kind of things Botswana government tries to give, but it's very, very minimal. So that's where also OBLES can come in. Because as I said, assessing what they need will be defined mostly by the social worker. But addressing their mental health, I would recommend dealing with them in groups according to their similarities. You know, who are they? What kind of problem have they experienced, and so on and so forth. And what we do is we normally, when we take these kids, we take them from one community. So when they are out there in the wilderness, in a campsite, because we use a campsite, then they are building a kinship together. we strengthen them to work together as a kinship of age mates and to help one another when they get back home. So they get back home as one powerful unit. And because of the culture within Botswana, before we even take them away, the whole community knows we are addressing this particular problem. So when they get back home as a strengthened kinship, then key stakeholders in the community, like the chief, the social workers, the teachers, people who are concerned about these young people's well-being, they gather together to welcome them, to motivate them, and to say to them, here we are, our services are also open, you can come and ask for help. So we are partnering with other stakeholders. We are just not enough alone, right? So then these young people relax. They know that, okay, there are many other offices open for us, because some of them don't even know that they need that there are such kind of services around them. So then they continue, whether they are in school or wherever, but we continue having small meetings with them in between to strengthen them, to say, how are you doing? To visit them case by case. But the beauty is, because we started with them as a group, we almost know every case now. We almost know everybody's mental health challenges. We almost know everybody's pathway towards success, what they would like to do. So then OBLES would step in maybe with resources like houses, but also this mental health part and partnering with stakeholders at the same time. But I would say, to start with, talk to the social workers. I think in most countries you would do that, because they would offer free public service to do that kind of rapid assessment for you. And then you partner with them, because OBLES is not government, to then map the type of services. But the type of services on mental health, group work is more efficient and quicker. And people love supporting each other. So if you work with them as a group, they will support each other. You just have to do it according to the context, in such a way that what works in Botswana may not necessarily work in Michigan, for example. But almost all over, maybe you just can back me up, group work is very efficient. People empathize and people become resources to one another. People check on each other, even if you are not there as a professional or as OBLES. They keep updating the key officer. Oh, so and so maybe has now lost another child, or so and so their house has burnt down. They take care of each other. They are watchdogs to one another. Thank you.
Wow. Well, doctor. Wow. Hey, Doctor and Joyce, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. I would like for you guys to start kind of like a committee of social workers through Unpassive. I would love if you guys discuss things, how you can help things, because I think that's what we need. Now we're talking structure. You just found out why we just can't throw money over there. All right, very, very good. So anyone that is a social worker on here or deals with that, please let's take their names down. I'll do my best to get emails, send it your way so you guys can start talking and get this going. As the doctor said, man and Joyce, there's many different things out there. It's most important to understand, but the most important is let's hear their story. Doctor, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I hope you contact Joyce and whoever else we get on here. I do appreciate what you just said. Thank you.
Yes, I'll send my contacts to Joyce right away. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, so we have now my brother, David Roslewski. I know I've seen many of the things that he wants to do. Dave, go ahead and unmute yourself. Let's hear what you got, my brother.
Hey, how you doing? Well, for the last 30 plus years, I've been interested in helping the disabled because, well, I was doing construction. I could have become one, and one of my best friends was missing his legs. Long story short, I've been kind of dedicating everything I wanted to do towards that. Then I got into on passive, and it was all me, trying to survive. I saw what was going on and I evolved. I realized, well, I'm not going to need anything. I wanted to start helping. Chris started the Angels and so I started thinking about the homeless, and I was like, well, we got the state sucks. They give you a place with a lot of rules and problems and headaches, and they basically just kick you out in the morning, and you got to be back by a certain time, and they're not giving you a whole lot of great help. Well, I figure, what do people need? Yeah, you need shelter, you need food, you need water, you need work, you need all kinds of stuff. And then I was watching, I forget what I was watching, is irrelevant. And this commercial came on about digital real estate. And they were talking about how these malls all over the country and now all over the world are becoming empty. And, nothing's going on with them, and they're sitting. And I was thinking we could make a nice little center out of that, because you need housing. You need a lot of different kind of housing. You need men's housing, women's housing. You got teens, you got military, you got drugs, and, people with, psychological issues, and everybody needs their own little place. You can easily turn the food court into a cafeteria. You can turn like an Apple store into a little computer center, because, if you're going to get a job, what do you need? Nowadays, you can't get a job without a phone. You can't get a job without an internet connection. So I was thinking maybe we get in touch with some of the phone companies about getting some of these little prepaid burner phones. That way, as people come in, we have a phone we can give them. Maybe we'll activate it for the first month or two to get them going. We can give them a computer area so that they can check their email, let their families know they're alive, and do some job hunting. If you want to do some recreation, there's probably an old video game store down the hall somewhere we can turn into a recreational area for the kids and people who want to spend their time. What else do you need to get to work? You need clothes. We could start our own kind of Goodwill sort of place, collect all this stuff, hang up all the good stuff. And as people are coming through, if you need clothes for your job, yeah, you walk in, go pick it off the shelf. If it fits and it works for what you need, take it. Whatever's no good, we can put in another bin. I'm sure we can find lots of people who were seamstresses and tailors and things like that. We could take that and repurpose that into things for people, things to sell. We could start, using some of the people to volunteer their time that are coming into the shelters. We could, start doing some hay bale farming up on top of the parking lot. We could rip up a bunch of sections of parking lot, build some greenhouses, or just do some open farming. We can get some vehicles to get people back and forth to their new jobs. I already started an LLC to try to help start doing all this stuff. One of the things I want to do is start getting some properties so that as people are starting to get on their feet, one, we can give them jobs, to fix up these homes for people. And then two, we can do low income housing for people, as they're starting to get on their feet. You need a place to go, but you can't afford these, tremendous rents. Well, we'll fix them up. We'll give it to them for, cost so they can get on their feet, or, half a cost, and we'll supplement them. And as they progress and get better, they can move on to another place, their own place, and open it up for the next person to come in. I've just got all kinds of, like, we can we can set up little medical and, psychological facilities. So not psychological, probably the worst word to use. People, to get the help that, we were just talking about a little while ago. We can have job placement centers. We can have people that are, just want to donate their time. We can get everybody, a reseller position, give them an income, permanent income. And in return, we ask them, maybe give us a year of your time, like figure 40 hours a week for a year, just donate your time. And if you like us at the end of that, you stay. If not, you walk away, have a nice day. You got your life and you got your stuff in order. But if not, it's like Ash is looking for people that are like-minded and motivated. So if we can get people that are interested in staying, well, they're going to be real good people to work with. Plus they're going to know where all these homeless people are, so we could find them and actually get them help. Not used to talking in front of a lot of people. Excuse me if I sound a lot nervous. Food, and I figured as far as creating more jobs, we've got all these farmers that have been put out of out of work by big farming. Bill Gates is buying all the farmland. China's buying all the farmland. Well, let's buy small pods and stay small under the radar so we don't alert big pharma and big farming and everything and start trouble so they start attacking us. Let's get these farmers going with their own farms again, get them back to producing for their families. We can give them guaranteed income every year. And instead of like the government paying people not to grow on their land, well, grow all you can. And we'll take it. We'll pay you and we'll take it at the end of the year. We'll bring it to our homeless shelters. We can do soup kitchens. We can pack lunches for people going to work. And before things start going bad, we can start freeze drying it like preppers do for, packing stuff up. We can, supplement our efforts selling that stuff to preppers, sell them good, fresh food. It'll be non-GMO. It'll be all natural. We'll do it organic without having to go get certified organic and pay all that. We'll just do it. Give people good food, like we had back in the 70s. I mean, the food we eat now, it's not like it was.
Hey, David, I can see you got a lot of ideas. I know you sent me a lot. I appreciate you for coming on here, and don't be scared, brother. You're doing fine. I appreciate you, man.
Thanks. Yeah, I could sit here and talk all night. I literally have an entire notebook full of stuff that I've been talking about. I've got for this, I've got desalinization plants that I designed, that I'm trying to design, that's going to grow food, fresh water. It's going to, do a whole lot of stuff, like the housing, those small houses we were talking about 2 weeks ago. Awesome. We can go into other areas like desert areas, as long as places are getting, 2 to 4 inches of rain a year. We can build earth ships. We got tires all over the place. We can build earth ships right in the ground. You can collect your own water. You can grow your own food and create an oasis in the middle of a desert area. You get enough of those together, you can have a nice green area in the neighborhood. Before you know it, maybe you'll have some good water, good weather coming back, and start hydrating the area. We could start, refurbing the planet as we go, expand the green areas into the deserts.
Oh, David, let me now listen, guys. I'm trying to make connections here. Now you could hear David. I've seen him. He's written to me multiple times telling me about his wonderful ideas. If you can relate to David, and maybe I see Gene's going, yeah, wow, rock on. I want you guys to connect with each other through emails and start discussing this, how you're going to structure it, what you're going to do. So Gene, write down David's name. David, you get Gene's name. You can put it private in the chat. Pass your email. Say, let's get this structure going. So David, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on here. And anyone else that wants to connect, if something's relating to you that someone's saying, man, get with those people. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, just one more thing, if I can, real quick. I just love everybody's ideas. We got a lot of really intelligent, motivated people here, and I'm loving it. And we're all about to have a bucket load of apples. So we're going to be able to do a whole lot of stuff. But I think if everybody just concentrates in your own little area and master it, come up with a nice little template that we can upload into, on Passive or the Angels site somewhere, so we could share it everywhere. Everybody can grab an idea that works, take it and customize it to your specific area. Because it's, like McDonald's, you can go to Japan and get spaghetti, or you can go someplace else and get shrimp, or you go to Hawaii and you can get Spam. You got to adjust everything for your specific area so it works better. But I think if we all do this and start throwing into a nice big pool, I think we can really, really get a lock on this stuff. I think we're going to do good. And I'll shut up now.
No, you're okay, Dave. One of the things that Julie had actually put together is it's in updates. You got to scroll down and look for it. And what it does, it puts all your qualifications, a whole bunch of stuff. So get in the back office, go on updates. You're going to have to scroll a little bit and find it and fill out those forms.
Okay.
Eventually, we're going to start combining people together on their ideas, same similarities, whether you're a social worker or you're a visionary of things for helping people. That's the whole goal here, building the structure. David, I appreciate you. I know Gene is probably already typing away your name somewhere. So thank you very much, brother.
And I want to put together a think tank too, so that we can start working on this, get all kinds of ideas and start brainstorming together on a regular basis, you know? Okay.
Absolutely. David, that's your job. You're hired. Get that think tank going.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I already got
All
the
right.
LLC. I'm motivated, dude. I'm
Matter
already
of fact,
together.
you and Gene look like you're just like, I just feel some kind of connection with how you guys are reacting. So you guys get together and get a think tank going and let's blow
yeah.
this up. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you. Marie, is it Pendy? There you are. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Marie.
Hi,
Welcome.
good evening, everyone. My name is Marie Pendy. I'm zooming in from Virginia. I just wanted to add to what Joyce said about, people who need social services. And there's a doctor who works with other people in Botswana. That's a good team. But to complete the team, you also have to make sure that in that team of staff, we have psychiatrists, psychologists, and psychotherapists, and nurses. Because each individual, like the doctor said, you group each group of people based on their similar needs. In the group, you also need to have a psychology, a psychiatrist, and a nurse, a psychiatric nurse, who will assess, the psychiatry will assess the need of each individual. Because you can go to talk therapy, but some people need more than a talk therapy. Some people may have the therapy by talking, by speaking their thought process. And a psychiatrist or social worker will be able to figure out how to meet their psychosocial needs. Some people need that plus a psychiatric management, and that the same individual may also need medication management. So to complete a team to work with each individual, you need all those people and everybody will come in and play their part as to where the needs are, as you talk one-to-one with the patient, with the people. That's what I wanted to say. A psychiatric nurse who will manage their medication and all their nursing needs. And then a psychotherapy who will take the people who need to have that psychotherapy. Maybe they need psychodrama, for example. They need a few sessions of psychodrama. Some people need, to have their basic necessity to be met. That's when a social worker will come in. And some people will need medication and to manage that medication so that everything comes together and build that person back to a normal strength. That's what I wanted to say to complete the team. Thank you.
You're absolutely correct.
And I'm one of the nurses who can do some of those things.
Structure. You're building structure. You remember what I said? We can't just throw money at something. It's been said a lot of times now. And this is what I'm talking about. This is probably how I should have started it off. My bad. I'm learning. I'm a retired auto worker, but I want to be part of everything that you guys are doing. So building the structure is important. We need everyone involved, not only ideas, but professionalism. So Marie, thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Chris, can I jump in there 1 second?
Absolutely jump in there, Joyce.
Thank you. I agree with you, Marie, so much. I am a psychotherapist as well. I did social work, so I do the psychotherapy as well. And there is a young lady that I work with. She's a mental health nurse as well. And she can, like she said, we'll need the psychiatrist and all that, because the psychiatrist is going to do a different assessment and manage them if there's medication that's needed, or if there's a severe mental health issues that the person is in need of. So they will step in and manage the medication. So with the psychologist and the psychiatrist as well, they will do an assessment. But remember, the psychiatrist is only going to see you every probably 3 to 6 months. So they're going to be specifically with medication management. So, but I love to work with you, Marie, as well, too, and, just get together and throw ideas. So just wanted to say that too. So and your daughter, Chris, too. So Amanda will get her in there.
Yeah, she's listening in the other room, but she's listening.
Can I also jump in there?
Absolutely. Go ahead, doctor.
Yeah, exactly. I like what she said, because some of the resources, you may not necessarily take them out to be part of the group therapy, but you note these problems while you are with the young people or with the group that you are addressing, and refer them when you get back to their communities. Then you connect them with these resources. That's why, for example, in our approach, then we have these stakeholders already waiting to receive these young people and say, we are here. We also have special services like this, and they build rapport with them. So we develop these cases when we are out there in the wilderness with them, and we refer them to specialists. It depends also by country on how many resources you can get. For example, in Botswana, there'll be very few psychiatric nurses or psychologists, but we find a way to complement them. And then I would like to also just say, because people are unique, we also use multiple types of therapeutic approaches. We use art therapy, we use group therapy, we use music therapy, we use what we call rites of affirmation for them to confirm that the therapy is helping them throughout the 2 weeks when they're camping. We adapt the type of therapy according to the group that is coming in. Thank you.
So, Chris, I just wanted to add, like in this team that I just said, to develop a treatment plan for each individual, which is unique. Somebody has to be writing the individual need. It could be, the basic necessity of living, house, clothes, food, and all that. So if that person lacks any of none of these, they lack all of this, like housing, we have to have a channel or a list of where are we going to do, what are we going to do with these people who need homes. So we need to build homes. So part of the treatment, big grand scheme of treatment plan for each individual will be, find a way that we're going to build homes for them, find a way that we're going to provide food for them. Maybe somebody just talked about, making a farm, having them grow their own crop. It could give that leeway for them to be able to provide that for them. So we just have to take an individual, assess each of their needs, and figure out how to channel them to those needs, and providing all those needs to meet the goal of that person in its entirety. That's it.
Thank you, Marie. Thank you, doctor. I appreciate you guys teaching us the stuff. Before we go on, I want to ask Julie if she can unmute herself. I want her to explain the form that she has in the update section. Julie, can you please unmute and let us know, please?
Absolutely, Chris. Thank you so much. I just wanted to say a little bit on the purpose of the form that is posted in the back office. Right now, the last time I checked, we have over 5,000 that have completed the form. However, out of those 5,000, the purpose of it, I believe, is Mr. Ash Mufareh look for professionals like all the doctors here, the social worker here, the engineer, all of what starts, the people that actually currently holding license or currently work on the certain project. So he wanted to have that form just so that later on, when he has a direction for Chris to go through, Chris can go into that form and pull up all of that. Let's say that we're talking about social worker today. He could go in there and do the searching of social worker, and all the names that associate that has license, that has all of that will come together. And what he's going to do, he's going to pull all that, and it's going to come to a separate sheet. And that's when he will sort it out, asking people the correct questions or answers. And then he'll organize a meeting. And I believe that was the purpose of that form. Therefore, if I may ask everyone's that have spoken today, if you haven't done so, or if you have spoken, or if you have completed the form, but you didn't put the details in. So when you completed that form, all that form asks is, who are you? How do you contact you? Email and a phone number and your profession. If you're currently holding a degree of psychologist, like, Joyce here, Joyce Hicks here, please specifically put it down. This is my license, this is what I'm doing. I'm currently practicing it, and I'm currently doing that. The more that you give the information in that particular column, it will help Chris to be able to sort out who are you and how to contact you. Let's say when he wants to have a social worker meeting, all he got to do, like I said earlier, it all populated out, and then he has the exact people that he's looking for. And if you have completed that form before and you haven't done it, said what you need to say, please go right ahead. When I sort that form out, I will pick the most that you put in there. Now, I'm asking for the information that goes in there that is accurate. If you are putting the accurate information out there, it will save Chris and the team to go through and sort it out again. So if you are a social worker, if your whole license just said, I'm a licensed psychologist or a social worker, please use that term so that when he looked up, all he got to do is search for that. So if you could please go on there, and if you need to get in touch with someone, either Ash, myself, or Chris, we can go in that form and then we can search up that information. And if you have completed that form, that means that you are comfortable. If Chris was to connect or use your email or phone number to give it to someone, it's kind of like permission for Chris to be able to do that, or myself, because I created that form for us to be able to do that. And if you do not want them to share anyone, like Chris or Peter or Marty and all of that doing that, if you said, I'm not comfortable of you sharing that, please note that on there as well. So that is a form where later on Chris is going to be using to connecting people when he has projects or when he needs help. So I just want to clarify that message really quick. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Julie. And remember, you don't have to be a professional. You can still fill out. I still want names in that form. We're just trying to find the people that are already doing this stuff. But every one of you are 100% important on your ideas, your solutions, because we got a lot of work to do, brothers and sisters. So don't forget that. Fill it out. Whatever you want. Put it on there. We want to hear it all. So, Julie, thank you very much. All right. Marshmallow, William Delorme, you please unmute yourself and tell us what you got. And Daisy, if you're out there, Daisy from P&G, I would like you to raise your hand. I will get to you, please. William, go ahead.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, brother.
I remember when I came out of college, I volunteered for the church to help help people navigate on the computer. And they had a lunch and they had breakfast. So I was looking at these people, and some of the people just can't help them. They just don't want to be helped. And sometimes I feel like they are possessed and they throw the tables, they throw the chairs. And is that what you want to volunteer for? Honestly. And I'm thinking, actually, the homeless people, most of them are like, you could say like 97% or 0.5 don't have families to go home when they are laid off or something of that nature. They have to go to the streets and look for help. So I'm thinking Oblast is a really good thing for those people. So there is things, but security is a big thing because I think demons and witchcraft and all these things that are on the street with drugs and everything is a big issue. So we have to think about that. So I'm bringing that up. So I want people to address that so they're prepared for it.
Very good, William. All the drug addicts on here, please call William. I'm just kidding. Brings up a good point. You bring up a good point, William. Yeah, like the ladies said before, there's a lot of things that we have to understand to help people. We can't just put everyone in one house and say, abracadabra, here's a magic pill, you're fixed. That's just not how it works. Here's $1, you're fixed. That's not how it works. So the people on here today are explaining how it works, and they're giving us an education on how it works. William, thank you very much. Gladys, come on down, my beautiful sister.
Thank you so much, Chris, and everyone here tonight. I'm not going to repeat what the rest have said. I think the social workers and Dr. Katsi have done a great job in addressing the basic needs. I'm going to come from the point of the functional level of the population or the clients we would like to help. This is because I work in a hospital. I've worked with homeless patients, and I see that the level at which they are able to function is very important to know it. As Joyce said, it's good to know, to meet the person where they are. So first, I think as we plan to build this city, we need to identify what kind of clients will we like to have? How much can they do? Is it people who are totally independent, who just need, a place to sleep, a job to do, just to get back on their feet? Is it that some of them could need a cane to be able to move around? Will they need a walker to be able to move around? They can do as much as they can. All that they need is if they need those devices to be able to move around. That will help us to know the kind of houses or the kind of house that we will build. Because one of the challenges that we encounter in the hospital when we receive homeless clients is that they come to the hospital, but you find the shelter where they came from has stairs. And when they come to the hospital, they tend to decondition or they become weaker, and the shelters are not able to accept them to go back unless they are able to walk with a cane or they are able to walk with their own feet, because the building is not designed to accommodate the walker or to accommodate the cane. So we will need to know the level of functioning before we bring them in to help us to design a home which can either accommodate anybody with a cane, with a walker, or with a wheelchair. Because we have homeless people who are on a wheelchair, but still they are able to work. So that's what I wanted to bring in, and also they are healthy, addressing their health needs. If they are healthy, we have annual checkups. The social workers, and as Marie said, if there is a nurse to work together and empower them to be able to either schedule their own follow-up appointments for regular checkups, or if there are some who need a little bit help, for us to help them to schedule the appointments, we can do that. And those ones who have any diagnosis that they need any education so that they can be able to manage whatever diagnosis they have, for example, if they have diabetes or high blood pressure, so that they can be able to live a full life even with those conditions, because we have so many people walk around with high blood pressure, diabetes, but they are able to live their lives fully. That's all I just wanted to add on. Otherwise, everything else has been discussed, and I'm very thankful about the team that we have tonight. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, Gladys. Hey, you made a great point. That's something I didn't think about. You just popped in my head. Yeah, we have to design homes for people that use the wheelchairs and the walkers and the canes. I've been through that with my mom, had to knock some things down just to get her through some areas with her walker and her wheelchair. So Gladys, I'm very glad you brought that up. Notes are taken on that one. I appreciate you, my sister. All right. We got some hands go. Jake Fish, come on down, Jake.
Hi, can you hear me all right?
We can hear you, Jake. How you doing, brother?
Hey, doing great. Feline and World Energy and I had a very good meeting today. It was phenomenal. And that was a really great point as far as the building. We should build all of our buildings so they're handicap access and everything. It should be straight across the board. Because we're going to have a lot of people coming through our houses and they're going to get their help and they're going to get better. And I just think that should be a standard. Okay, handicap access for everybody, because we're going to help a lot of people. The We Energy is over the top. I think we're going to break some records when we build in Michigan or whatever. We'll essentially pretty much be able to have these people live off the grid. The way these guys work is phenomenal. And you know, the mental health is going to be a huge thing to tackle, but I think we have the people involved that will be able to take care of it. Another thing, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of the mental health might be, you know, if we have these growing farms and these buildings, we could provide jobs. And if we can give people some self-worth, I mean, is that the main deal for mental health? I mean, the social workers should probably clarify that. But I mean, I think we need to lift people up, give them a job to say, hey, you're growing, you know, these green beans, you know, farms in a box or whatever. I mean, if we can give them jobs and feel that they can have more self-worth, I mean, do you think that that's going to help their mental health?
Are you asking the social worker the question, Jake?
Chime in anytime you like.
Anyone social worker want to answer that for Jake?
Jake, so jobs would be a part of it, but until we address the underlying issue, so it may be a job, but there's an underlying issue. There could be abuse, there could be, you know, sexual abuse, there could be trauma. There's so many things that's underlining, and so the job would be a part down the line, and it would be great to help uplift their self-esteem. But first, we have to get to the underlying issue. Once we can get to that, then because that person may not be capable of working or maintaining a job because of certain things that they've gone through in their background. So there's so many things that's underlining that we can get to first, and then we can address that part, because they have to be able to meet their basic needs. Some people maybe have to taught again how to get back into society because they've been out on, you know, homeless or wherever, or on the streets or wherever their homelessness or issue may be. So they have to be taught and educated. Because say a person was homeless at the age of 12, they may be stuck in that person, at that 12-year-old person. So they have to learn how to move forward versus, and so they may not even know how to, or they don't remember, it's been so long since they've been employed, that they will have to be taught the basic skills all over again, like the basic needs of hygiene and all those different things like that. So if that makes sense. And that's just a part of it.
We're looking at not only just building homes, but education centers, you know, perhaps. A little background on what happened to my grandkids is my daughter-in-law had an unfortunate accident. she was on her deck, and she slipped, fell, hit her head, and landed face first in a pool of water from a Rubbermaid container. And my grandkids found her dead, and they're quite traumatized from that. And luckily, my wife and I live like a stone throw away, so we can see the children, but they're still traumatized. I mean, I could not imagine what they have gone through.
Absolutely. Jake, do you have any more questions? Let me use Jake as an example. He didn't know something he wanted to find out. Greatest thing in the world is the right information.
Correct.
All right? So if you got a question, and I'm trying to have shows where we have lawyers, doctors, we have social workers. This is free education, folks. Free education that's going to help you build Obless higher and higher and higher up, so we can actually fix many, many things. Are we going to fix them all? Well, damn, I'm going to try my best to, and I know you all are. So Jake, do you have anything else, brother?
All I got to say is Obless, just by itself, is going to rock the world like you have never seen. Just that one thing, Obless, is going to rock the world, and it's going to change it for the better. And my skin is in it. I'm all in.
Jake, I know you are. And yeah, I did hear you guys had a real good meeting the other day. I'm glad to hear that. I know where we need to go. Still, we want to put more things together. We want to educate people first, and we're going to do all that, Jake. So you just hang in there. We'll get back to you, of course.
We're going to win big time. Big time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate you, brother.
No problem, Chris.
All right, Mr. Peter, the best notes in the world. Oh, and let me say this before I forget. Right now, I have Daryl Cook and Janet Butler, who have, without me even asking, they decided to do a whole bunch of stuff and take notes. So Peter gets a little break. Daryl Cook writes excellent notes. He's actually taking notes of all this. Janet Butler's making spreadsheets. And I forgot to give him a shout out last week, and I want to give him a shout out, but thank you, Bahama team. I love you guys. Appreciate you. And before I forget, Lynn Nakamoto, thank you for all the advertising and helping out with Run the Panel, because sometimes at the end I'm all crazy and I forget, but I love you, my beautiful sister. Thank you for all you do too. All right, where did my brother Peter Sure disappear to? Peter, go ahead.
I'm here, Chris. Thank you again for doing all the webinars and getting Obless getting together and getting some ideas around from different professionals. Thank you, Joyce, for being here. Appreciate you. Very wise words. And the doctor spoke. I don't want to butcher her name, so I won't say it. Just say doctor. Sorry about that. And all the speakers in here. I had to take a call, so I was absent for a little bit. But thank you all. And I like to point what Joyce and the doctor mentioned, that we need to make sure that we're not judging anybody when we speak to, and look at what their needs are. And the doctor mentioned something about a social worker that have worked for the cities or the municipals. Those are really good resources because they already have a lot of studies they do. So I think that's a good start. Not necessarily that we use the resources, but we could use some of their services to sift through some of the people that we have that we gonna be able to help. Also, in regard to William DeLone, what we were saying about in the church, some people were like drug addict and violence and stuff like that. That's definitely something we know about, and we need to make sure everybody is safe. We cannot put people together in the same home if there is violence or drug addict or alcohol addiction. So that's something we always going to look for. Safety is always first, and I believe Mr. Ash has always spoke about this, that we have to make sure that safety is always number one priority before anything else. to protect everyone, because those people, like the ladies mentioned here, they're very vulnerable. Some of them are abused. So we need to be very careful with that. And again, the great ideas is being thrown around here. So I appreciate each and every one of you. And we can conquer this. I know we as a team together, we can conquer this, or we can work together. And Bless is always going to be a winner. We're going to change each person, one person at a time if we have to, but we will make it happen. Thank you again.
Thank you, Peter Stewart. If you don't know, that crazy guy is the one that got me into this, and he had no idea. He had no idea. But I will tell you this, he was in it a long time before he told me, and I'm still mad at him today, but I love him with all my heart. Peter, I hope your wife's doing better. I know she felt a little ill. I hope you're doing great, brother.
100%, Chris. Everything is A-okay. And I also want to, since you mentioned they're a cook, I want to give him a big credit shout out. He backs me up with the notes. Thank you so much, Daryl. I appreciate everything that you do, brother. Take care.
Thank you, Pete. I appreciate you. All righty. Oh man, I love this lady. Marcine, open that mic and let's hear that beautiful voice.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you for having me. And I just want to thank the previous speaker. And Sister Gladys said something that brought me an idea. And she was talking about the people that when they cannot go back to their home because they don't have access maybe to where they live, the stair or the wheelchair is not appropriate. So I was by then thinking that why we have to have a home for elder people, because being homeless, you can be homeless in your own home. A lot of people, they become poor because they cannot afford to pay anybody to take care of them when they get some certain disability. I am a caregiver. I go around and help people, and I know what I mean. It takes a heart. Sometimes the person might not be able to pay you, and you do that work from your heart. So if we have a place that when people cannot do things for themselves anymore, and they are there very affordable and they get a care from heart, not a care for money, I think it's going to help a lot of family, because that's one thing too, that you can eradicate poverty by helping people on their last time, the little time that they have to live, having a good life, having people like me that we can go there and give our time to help them, or even bring other people that they do the same thing that we do every day and teach them to do the work from heart, not from money. I think it's going to help a lot. A lot of people are going through that. They don't have anybody to take care of them busy, even to give them food, even to get them up from their bed and put them in their chair in the living room. And at that point, they become homeless in their own home. They have nobody to talk to. So I think that's one point that I wanted to say, that not only talking about nursing, psychology, we have to think about caregivers, the people like me that we can go out there and help also. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you.
Marcine, you know I love you. Absolutely. What are we doing? We're building the structure of how to help people though blessed. So we have, right now we have 4 hands up, which is Lily Lane, Sherry Dursway, Susan Hodges, and some guy that says he's Ash Mufareh. We're going to let him wait and see. I don't want to have to throw him off if he's real or not, but Lily Lane, please unmute yourself and go right ahead. Get it, Lil?
Oh, I got it now.
Thank
you so much, Chris, for this opportunity. As I listen to all of the professionals talk, it just makes me want to do even more. But I feel that what I can bring to this community is a business degree in business administration, my undergrad degree, a master's in administration supervision, and about 33 years of human resource management. I ran human resource office about 7 naval bases in the DC, Maryland area, and had a team that was there. So I feel that I can bring to you from advertising position that is dependent on the kind of jobs that we're talking about. If we're talking about within the community, That's one thing. If we're talking about outside of the community, that's another thing, those processes. But I can bring, as I said, from advertising to hiring to screening to orientation to evaluation to promotions, counseling, the whole gamut of employee relation. So anyway, and I know that may not happen as early in the process as some of the other responsibilities, but whatever I can do. And what I will do, I will go back and refill out the form that Judy talked about tonight so that I can outline those things in more detail in terms of what I can bring to the community. Thanks, Chris, for having me.
Lily, thank you. You know, I just thought about something when I know your HR experience. You guys got to think about this. Using two of our products, which is O Staff and O Academy.
Right.
Can you imagine what we can do on O Staff to organize this also with everyone's ideas? Can you imagine now sending these ideas and these blueprints out, teaching through Academy what we're doing? The internet is a wonderful thing. And with those two products, I think that's going to help us out immensely. Lily,
Right.
thank you for waking my brain up and thinking about something different. That's why we're doing this. I love you, my beautiful sister.
Thank you, Chris.
Looking forward to working with you. Sherry Dursaway, please unmute yourself.
Yes, hello. I love this topic, and I'm just so excited for Bless. It just gets my heart going every which way. Anyway, I had a few things. I put it in the back office, the listing thing. My daughter, she does this. She helps the houselessness. We call it houselessness out here. And what she does is she makes sure that her crew, she has a little speech with them first beforehand and makes to them realize that these are real people out there and they have feelings and they've been left behind. And we need to make sure each of them are very important in this world, no matter where they came from, what situation it is about. And also I've heard about an app. I wrote it down, but I don't have it in my notes in front of me, that I saw about a month or two ago. I don't watch a lot of TV, but it was on in the background. It was some app that had to do with that. It was on Dr. Phil's program. And so I think that would be helpful. And plus, I believe, I have my notes here, a lot of your houseless people have pets because that helps their brain and helps keep them going. Like we've been saying all along here, it's all about mental, because even if you were put in that situation, it definitely would take a mental toll on you. And they have animals, so we need to work on helping the animals to get fit, and whatever animals they have, make sure that they're taken care of as well, because they're going to want to go with the person who's houselessness. And then I also my heart kind of goes for, we need a different situation, different building or what have you, facility for battered people, whether it be the women, children, or even men been battered before. So we need something for that. And of course, that entails medical and mental as well. And a lot of these people have children, so we need to make sure those children are covered as well. And I would love to help in that section, and also to help with like I like to draw and do crafts and that kind of stuff. I would love to help the kids in any way I can to kind of keep their mind off of stuff, or help them, feel wanted and fresh, and help them draw or whatever it is to help them along the way on that. So, and then also with disasters, how there's disasters that always happens all over the world, somewhere or another. We need to be sure to have OBLESS set up for one little section just for that, whatever disaster it is, we just pluck it in. So like somebody could put up like, oh, there was a tornado in Oklahoma and 3 blocks have been blanked out. So we can all dip our money into that, whatever that is, and start helping that way, and then work from there, whatever that thing needs. besides the funds and the food and all that, to go from there, because those two people will also need some kind of medical and mental health as well, because they've been through losing their home or pet or lost a loved one. So those are my thoughts. Back over to you, Chris. Thank you so much for letting me talk. I'm so excited.
Thank you, Sherry. I definitely hear it in your voice. Absolutely. I'm an animal lover. And believe it or not, there's a lot of therapy that they use for people with disorders in their mind, and animals help out. So another great thing that was brought up, Sherry, I appreciate you. Now, listen, I know it's 10:30. I know Mr. Ash Mufareh has to go to work here. He probably took a 10-minute nap, and I know his timeline has got to go to the office. So Susan, unless Ash tells me different, would you mind giving Ash, let him have the floor here, and then I will get back to you, Susan, if that's okay? Okay, Mr. Ash Mufareh, if that's really you, brother, come on out.
No, Chris, we can listen to the three in queue, William, Willow, and Susan. Just in case I take more than 3 minutes. I have a feeling I will take more than 3 minutes.
Okay, I knew you were going to say that, but you know, I had to offer because Marty would beat me up. All right, Susan, but the gentleman said, go right ahead, Susan, go right ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ash, and thank you for all you do for all of us. I can't thank you enough, but I was a manager for Goodwill. I have lots of years of experience in office and bookkeeping and anything to do in an office, basically. My OCD is organization, if you need anybody to organize things. That is just something I don't live without. And I've a few experiences I just wanted to bring up that might help. When my brother passed away, or before he passed away, I went to see him in October, and I was just totally blown away when they were taking me back to the airport in Houston and saw the miles and miles of tents under the bridges. I mean, I don't think a lot of times people realize how big the problem is in certain areas, I guess. I never did. I mean, and so me bringing to it would be a lot of people aren't going to trust you. The first thing I think we need is to build trust. And I think the easiest way would be to feed the people, to bring food and to start talking to them. Because I don't think if you open a door that they're going to come running, a lot of them. They don't trust people, you know, and I don't blame them. So that would be my first take. And then as a manager of Goodwill, they have addressed, there are a lot of different problems we have to handle. But one thing I wanted to say is I used to have a gentleman that came to our dumpster in the back of the Goodwill, and I'd have to chase him away because he wasn't allowed to dumpster dive in our dumpster. And talking to the man, he was a lawyer. And he was brought, you know, into the situation by life. And so people can be very intelligent. Just because they're homeless doesn't mean they're not intelligent. They just need help. Some of them want help up and some of them don't. So we have to look at they're all human, they're all different levels, and we have to decide what, you know, have these mental health people or counselors decide where they're at and which way to go. So I thank you so much. That's all I wanted to say. And any way you can use my help, Goodwill does, they're the clothes, they even send clothes, but they sell them overseas. We could just, what we don't use and what we don't sell to make money, we can just send them to the other countries that need them. So.
Susan, thank you. I'm very sorry for the loss of your brother. And you're right, seeing those kind of, the way people live on the streets, to me, is horrendous. God Goodwill is a great thing because I use them all the time. So I really am happy you brought that to the table, Susan. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming. William Norris, go ahead. You guys, you know what you got to do. Don't take forever and tell me what you got, William.
I just wanted to piggyback, Chris, on the the structural details for the handicap in any structures that we might get involved with. That information is going to be with all the municipalities, whether it be a state, city, or county authority. And I have the background to go into that and dig that information out and help with that.
Wonderful, William. Yep, that's what we need. We need people to understand the laws and that already understand the laws, I should say. So, William, I really do appreciate that. Get on that. If you could connect with William about knowing the laws and the legalities and all the rules of building things, get with William and start building a little board, a little team for yourselves and put ideas together. William, thank you very much, my brother. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Each one of those municipalities will have some different details. Every municipality is different, so we'd have to look at each one on a single basis. But I mean, it's not hard to do.
Absolutely, I like that. It's not hard to do, William. That's music to my ears.
Absolutely.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. All right, my beautiful 21-year-old girlfriend, Willow Griffith, come on down.
I look like the bag lady tonight.
Oh, not at all.
Please forgive me. I've been out working. I wanna just I'll keep it as brief as I can, Chris. On Sunday, I had a marvelous experience with engineer Mike, and he helped me so much. And he brought up to me that his dream was to help people that didn't have knowledge of computers. He says, I'm a teacher at heart. I want to put free lessons out on Academy to help those people that need it. And I was so impressed with him. I think I have set him on a pedestal, and I think somebody's going to knock my head off pretty soon. But I just was amazed at his heart. And he was the one, in case you didn't remember, he was the one that offered the homeless boy that we were talking to 3 founder positions. He bought and paid for him, so he does not have to be hungry ever again. So I wanted to put in a word about Mike because he's in the chat tonight. And he helped me so much, I can't tell you. And I'm pretty knowledgeable about technology, but that YouTube was throwing me for a loop, and he just opened my eyes, and it was wonderful. Okay, having said that, poverty is a multifaceted problem in our world, not just in our United States. But one of the things here in the United States that is very, very critical is the mental health organization we have is so underfunded. And I have families that I know firsthand, and in their founders also, some of them, they have schizophrenic children that are on the street because they can't get them any facility to live in, and they're willing to pay for it, mind you. They have money, they have enough money to do it, but there's no resources for them. So when we start taking care of people on the street, you're going to have to do just like, Mr. Norris and some of the other more learned people. We can't just have an open door policy, because there are some out there that are violent offenders also. There are children out there that are violent offenders, and just because they're a child, you may think they're okay and they can snap on you and knife you in the back overnight, So we're going to have some bigger problems than we're thinking. And when Julie had us fill out the form, for one, I'm retired. I don't hold a license anymore as a psychologist, but have had the training, but I don't have the physicality anymore left that I could take care of street problems. I used to, but I can't anymore. And so I think those of us intellectually, we should get together. And like Susan, she's had years of experience with the poverty situation with, I'm a Salvation Army fan. I helped with the Salvation Army for years and years and years, and they're a very, very, very good organization. But I don't have the physical stamina to do what you young spring chickens can do, but I can offer my 2 cents worth. So I didn't, fill in some of the things that I've been involved with in my life, and perhaps I should go back and redo that because I really didn't, because I don't hold a license anymore. And I didn't want to be, putting it out there that I was a practicing psychologist, because I'm not anymore. So I'll redo it, Julie, when I remember to get over there. But I wanted to say just one other thing, and then I'll get off because I'm anxious to hear Ash. I think what we're doing here is so big, and Chris is the size that can fill the shoes, and Peter Scher, of those that we need. But we have to remain unified and not competitive. If we are not competitive, we're going to reach out and touch more people and help and do more things that Mr. Ash has informed us to do, what he wanted with Oh Blessed. And I help women that are battered, and I counsel free for them without being charged with 3 crisis centers. So I work all day long, and I'm on Zoom constantly. I can contribute a lot of things, but it's mostly from my own home. I can't get out there physically and do it. But we don't want to ignore those people like myself that have enough knowledge about the street that we can help in our own ways. And so I just kind of wanted to get that in. I didn't want you to think I was trying to shirk my duty here, and because I think we all have a duty to those that need our help. That young man that was out on the street, I cried all night long. And thank God for our friend, Engineer Mike, helping him out. People don't know how hard it is for kids that are ADHD, that are Asperger on the syndrome. They're brilliant, but they can't communicate like you and I communicate. So there's another thing there too, that some of them are blind, some of them are deaf. There's so many things we have to do to even tap into one little level of poverty. And like Ash said, I can't help everybody, but we can help one. And we did last week with Jeannie's little friend she picked up off the street. And that's how we have to start. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. I want to thank you.
Willow, listen, I don't care what your age is, because you're beautiful to me, but you just educated a lot of people. Maybe you can't get out your home and do like you used to do, but you got it. You got an internet and an academy that I'm sure you're going to be teaching a lot of wonderful things about. But Willow, everything you always say blows me away. I love you with all my heart. Thank you very much. You are as important as anyone in this family. Let me tell you that for your knowledge.
Well, I thank you for that. Sometimes, they want to stifle me, but I don't blame them. I like to talk too. But I want to tell my friend Marty just one word. I loved you more today than I've ever loved you. You did good today. I cried. You touched my heart. Don't ever stop, because we need you, Marty. Okay? Thank you, darling.
Willow, now I gotta run over there and give him a hug because I know he's gonna cry, but thank you, Willow. Now, before we bring on Mr. Ash Mufareh, Marty DeGarmo would like to say something. Marty, the floor is yours, my brother.
I'll be really quick. Willow, you shouldn't have said that right before I came on. Now I'm having trouble. Anyway, but thank you very much. Why do people do that to me? Listen, I know I talk a lot, but I do have 2 ears and I listen a lot too. In the last few weeks, I see many people here in different qualities and things they know and parts of this that they can do that will blow it away. We've got captains, generals, lieutenants, sergeants, nurses, doctors. I mean, we're packed. I have a thought that I've probably brought up before. I know right now while we're having this meeting, or I'm pretty sure, there's men and women, army of people walking the streets, covering people, handing them soup, helping them whatever way they can. These people, to me, are unsung heroes. We don't know their name. We don't know where they're from, but they're truly doing what the best they can with what they have. I think if anyone here could get into a community and start pulling people out that are on the front line, let's say, right? And bring them in and ask them, if the right resources were there, what would you do? Because I think when you're walking the streets and it's cold and you have 5 blankets and there's 6 people to cover, that's got to be heart-wrenching. And I got to believe in every city in the United States and every village around the world, this is going on. There's armies and armies of unsung heroes. And I, for one, if you get them involved and we back them up with doctors, lawyers, monetize whatever they need, buildings, whatever you want to call it, then finally the real heroes get the knowledge and get the people looking at them. Because right now, while we're talking, there's somebody trodden through some nasty places trying to help everybody they see with absolutely nothing. And I think if there was a way to get into these communities or community services and start pulling these people that are running soup kitchens or supplying blankets and get them involved, and then everyone here can help them, give them what they need. Now, there's some stuff they don't know, but I think in general, always the person on the front line, there's something they know that we don't know. And I just wanted to add that 35 cents or whatever it was worth. But thank you very much.
Absolutely, Marty. Thank you. Absolutely. People out there doing this and they don't even need to be recognized. So I appreciate it. Now, Julie just raised her hand up. Go ahead, Julie. I know Ash will let you go before. Go, Julie, go.
Chris, just 1 minute. I just want to clarify what I said earlier. It's not just professional people completing the form. The form is made for everyone, anyone who would like to participate in OBLAST. So I just want to make that clarification. The second one that I wanted to say is that if you have 10 on passive accounts, and if you sign up 10 accounts on OBLAST, it does not make sense because all we need is email and phone number and your profession. So just one is good enough because I've seen several people have like lists of 10 of them or 15 of them on there. So thank you, Chris. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie, my beautiful sister, for all their help and everything that you do and helping us all. Mr. Ash Mufareh, I yield the floor to you, sir. Now he's going to hide.
Thank you, my brother. Okay, good evening. I was listening and I thought, no, I should talk. I do have a few things to say. I don't promise you it would be quick. So if you just joined us, great, because it's going to be here for a while. Why? Because we have business to do. If you've been here for a while, you can take a break and come back, but not very long, 3 seconds. Just want to thank you for what you're doing, Chris. Everybody, congratulations to Peter Struer because his two daughters, Amanda and Mary, on Saturday will be graduating. 2 in 1. Can you beat that? So that will be a good event. And we're going to celebrate that where? On Burj Khalifa. Okay, I'm going to do some fireworks for that. Congrats for the 2 young ladies. And I enjoyed listening to all of you. I appreciate you, but I have a few things. I've been thinking about this concept of oh bless. Before I get going, I just have a feeling. I cannot prove it. I cannot validate it. I cannot confirm it. But Chris Johnson may be the first unpassive Mother Teresa. There are so many kind people and fine people, but I just have a little feeling. It's a feeling. I don't know how to explain it. He will be the first graduate, okay, to lead the next million of us. All right. So there have been so many attempts to conquer poverty for generations. We can fact check if it worked or not as of now. Do we still have poverty? We still have poverty. That means it's not working. Okay. I do believe there's not one thing you can do that will defeat and eradicate the whole dilemma. It has to be a set of actions to do that in tandem. But it will be insane for us to expect repeating something from the past, from what's been attempted, and expect a solution. You know, the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expect a different result. That is insanity, meaning cuckoo. Okay, so we don't want to be that. My projection for the whole thing was to come up with something completely out of the blue, outside the box, totally disruptive, the same fashion we came after and the same style we came after our success and unpassive. Let me whisper something to you. Okay, I don't believe we cannot defeat poverty. In my mind, poverty is a solution. We have the ability, as 8 billion living human beings, we have the ability to take care of that if we have the will. Do we have the will? Listen, we've gone to different planets. We've gone to, you know, with AI, with this new technologies and all those incredible ideas about energy and water. All of it. Yeah. It's all beautiful. We can conquer poverty. If we go the same way at this target, the same way we go after our own benefits. Like if the top successful 100 men on earth, they are extremely wealthy and successful. If they go the same way after poverty, genuinely, the same way they go for their own benefit and success and business and agenda, it could have been done. So I have a feeling, again, there's no way I can validate. There's not a complete, genuine solution that has been conducted so far. I have some doubts. I'm just a skeptical person when it comes to what I see. It's either a cover up for what they have. It's either to get attention and popularity, or it's just a bait for a bigger business behind it. In other words, there's an obvious abuse and manipulation in the system. One thing I know for sure, no doubt in my mind, that conquering or solving poverty is not going to come from the White House or the Kremlin or Beijing or any capital. It's not going to come from there. Politics works as if you're idiot, if you're broke, bim, boom, they thrive. If you're educated, if you're wealthy or financially settled and independent, they bankrupt. Understand how I'm not against, we shouldn't have a government, regulations, all of it. I'm all for it. We have to have a system, but it needs some work and fixing. So unless we fix so many pieces and understand the roots of poverty and the causes of that and solve them, NLP, I'm sure Joyce and those who work in social work, you have to understand the brain programming. Okay, so unless you understand the causes, the roots of the problem, and go after them, you're just gonna have a band-aid on a cancer. It's not gonna work. Okay, so we have to go after the root. What are the roots of poverty? And I hope you're not waiting for me, Julie. Are you waiting for me to finish so you can talk? Then jump over, because I feel bad if you have something. Okay, I don't mean to.
I have
hold.
spoken, Dash. So
I'm sorry?
you're good. I have spoken, so you're good.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, but you can jump in, cut me off anytime. Okay, when I'm not making sense, you just cover me. Okay, so what I believe. Okay, first of all, we're not going after fixing. I want to clarify this. In my mind, my intention, I'm not going after homelessness. That's just one area of poverty. If you want to solve it, you want to go for the whole thing. You want to aim big, all right? God doesn't require us to succeed. I'm trying to read what's behind me. Okay, He only requires that we try. In other words, we will shoot for the moon. If we fail, if we miss, we will land among the stars. Big deal. But we're going to try hard, okay? We're going to try very hard. In fact, I was just reading on Elon Musk's tweet. If we get Twitter, all of that, he got it, okay? But just a couple of days ago, we will fix spam or we will die trying. I don't believe we will die trying, because if it's in the right hands, it will be fixed. Even if we die, we will get it done. So just imagine a little fantasy, okay? We go after poverty, not homelessness, not water, not animals, not one. It's all blessed. The whole thing, the whole globe is blessed. All right? Everything is done. I'm gonna show you how. So if we go the same way, with the same energy, the same stamina, the same wisdom, the same tenacity, after we went, the way we went after achieving on passive from nowhere, it's a done deal. Okay, do I need to rephrase? If we go as hard or the same exact way, the same style we went after on passive to get it done, it's done, right? Okay, so the same way, if we go after poverty with deep conviction, with that real passion and desire to get it done, it will be done. It's a done deal. So the motive is what's lack, the will is what's lack, okay? And you have to do it, all the way. Cannot fix one side of it and uncover, have another loophole. Okay, you have to fix the whole thing. All right. So poverty comes from what? Wars, crimes, stupidity. I mean, ignorant, uneducated society, right? What does it come from? Okay. Corruption. Okay. Health issues, disability, in other words. Okay. That's what, prevent people from having an source of income or proper lifestyle or burden on life, give them they give up mentally. Okay. So there's another thing I wanted to say that about poor minds, and it's all about, if you have, your success is determined by your mind. If you have a rich or poor mind, it is just going to determine your status, right? So I do believe that we have to consider education. You cannot have a separate dimension, okay? If there's a solution that doesn't take care of educating society, it's not gonna be a long term. So let's go to the beginning of unpassive. Let's see the commonality between unpassive and obless. If obless is going to be the solution for poverty, right? Are you with me so far? Are we building some logic together? Okay. So I do have an incredible passion for people. I love people. That's how I started for unpassive. But I'm no longer alone. I'm not one individual anymore. Remember, individually, we are drops, scattered, nothing. Together, we are an ocean. And boy, are we an ocean now. Look who we have on board. Okay? I'm no longer alone. We do love people. I'm not the only one who loves people or have passion. So I do trust that we have a better desire, higher than before, higher than average, higher than anywhere else in unpassive, using bless to defeat poverty. It doesn't have to be complete for now, because let's say older generations that they have a more complex and severe issue, they can be dealt with individually on one-on-one basis, right? But at least if we could have the resources to take care of that. But we want to focus on the younger generations and the future generations. So if we take care of society, if we want to take care of the future society, we take care of them now with the younger kids today. So number one, if they're educated, we give them proper health and put them on the right track. You got nothing to worry about in the future. Okay? And solve all the other relevant issues. If the country is broke, you're going to have poor people. Okay? If the system is broken, you're going to have issues. So do we all agree that we love people genuinely? Okay, we do love people, but we do agree that we will make a difference just by that love. Even if everybody impacts one person's life, it's gonna make a major impact because we're so many, right? Okay, so the other one is we have to agree we're not gonna really take care of every little tiny issue. Okay, if something is just so complicated, we don't want to be stuck against the wall if it's just a temporary case. Let's focus on the future. If we have the foundation for it, but listen, don't take me wrong. I love people, but there are some people, they really need a lot of love. In fact, it's no joke. I was talking to God a while back. I said, you know me, God. You know how much I love people. And I believe in you. I do have a little list, tiny list. I have some names on it. It's not big. You can handle it. I wish you would consider. I'm going to leave it somewhere. You know how to find it. When I come the next day, I hope you will tell me it's taken care of. So it stayed there for a while. So I got the message that God said, I don't want them either. So no matter what we try to do, you understand there are going to be some people will refuse help. It's not going to work. Don't get stuck with the little petty things. We're going to focus on the bigger scope. You follow me so far? All right. Even if it's late, it's not late. We're just like they're waking up in India now. Okay. So we agree we have to do something different, hasn't been attempted before. We agree we have to target all areas. We have to be disruptive, just like Unpassive. We agree it takes a team. It takes a massive team like Unpassive, right? All of that. Fantastic. And we're going to try hard, not just try to show, okay? We're going to go very hard at it, okay, all the way. So if we miss, we're going to land among the stars. I mean, period. If you have a poor society, you're going to have you're going to have poverty, mentally poor, okay? If we have educated society, I don't mean diplomas, okay? I do have to say that. I hope you're not waiting for degrees and, diplomas. No, I'm talking about aware, okay? Effective. So I want you to trust me that perhaps how we do on passive is one thing, right? If we do it the same way, it's going to be great. It's going to be a good success. Why? Because how you do anything is how you do everything. We're not going to do it for a show. Okay? Trust me, we don't need more foolish work to distract us from other things. If we don't mean to solve it, it wouldn't be on the list. It wouldn't be on the table because it's going to take time. It's going to take energy, and it's going to take commitment for us to solve it. It's not going to be a wish. Okay, so as hard as we went after on passive, we go after poverty. Sometime from now, it will be done. But because of the spirit and the attention that we have, and I do want to mention something. If there's money involved, if there's management, if there's a system, it sounds like a business to me. So let's stay away from that, okay? It sounds like this is not a business. This is being a good human being, okay? You cannot talk to me about, oh, bless, and this project, and this is a plug. Don't fall into that. Okay, so we're going to focus on doing good. How we do good is very simple. So let's say there are 1 billion poor people on the planet. Okay, remember, the genius is to turn something complicated into simple. Yeah, poverty is complicated, but let's simplify it. If people have enough knowledge, or the poor people, 1 billion people, if they have more knowledge in any area, okay, any area, it doesn't have to be on the book, you don't have to read and write, okay, if they just have enough knowledge to survive, take care of themselves, be independent, and have an opportunity to earn on their own. So more knowledge and more money Straightforward. I'm not talking about $1 billion business for each. They're talking about survival, talking about getting off the street, getting take care of their health, their family. Okay, doesn't take much. There's no force on earth can convince me we cannot solve this. Do we have enough food? Yes or no? Do we have enough knowledge available? Yes or no? We have enough resources? Yes or no? We have enough love? Yes or no? We have enough will, passive or blessed? Yes. Okay. So if we have all of that, it's all about packaging. That is the arrangement, is how we connect the pieces, and the puzzles is how we distribute wealth. So why don't we flip the picture? And I'll give it back to Chris or Julie if they want to take over. Why don't we just become so disruptive? Okay, let's say we have 8 billion people. Okay, the bottom 1 billion. You want to do it that way? The bottom 1 billion. Meaning they have less than $1.90 per month or per day. The poverty line. $2 a day. They're not making that. No way. Regardless of their region or currency. Why don't we go after the 1 billion and focus on them, emphasize our efforts for them to be lifted up first? In other words, flip the picture, have them above us, above humanity. They become the top 1 billion. How? The passive opportunity. So instead of going just complicating things and we're going to invent and reinvent and do, okay, and go the long circle where we have been before and, many attempts before, why don't we systemize where we can educate those people enough? Again, they don't need to be scientists, rocket makers. They don't have to do that, okay? They just need to be sufficient where they have a device. That's the tool they need. Subscription cost, the ability to drive or to manage this business and account and put it to work. And how do you use it? One of them, we support them. The company's still going to do traffic to get one. With us collectively one, and on their own, they succeed to do that. Now they have a business for life paid for, covered. I used this example earlier today with the Arabic team, and I just said 100. Let's think the cost is 100. I'm going to help you. It's a little twisted on passive, but in a good way, okay? But it will be more informative, okay? So don't go too far and don't use this as the actual number, but I'm just going to give the 100 as, whatever the currency is. Apple, onion, okay? Banana or dollars, coins, pesos, you name it. Okay, so we have 100 is the cost. Lily Lane would go and pay. The doors are open, activate. Obviously, founders first, okay, before the public. Go, activate your account. The minute you activate it, set up your account and profile, you are confirmed, you are activated, you have set up, you have a domain name, your business, live, everything is taken. The company is taking over all of that. You put 100. Just imagine we give you a five, whatever it is, okay, as a registration bonus. You are in green on day one. instantly. Perhaps you go to work. What's that beep? Okay. You go to work, the company go to work, and the team go to work. Down the road, whatever it takes, you got 3 registrations, 3 sales, 3 subscriptions, packages sold. Let's say you are at the package level or the product. You cannot give what you do not have. First, you get it. Second, you are able to resell it. So you have 100. Day 1, you have 5, just one-time bonus, because your wallet now is green. The figures, the numbers are in green. So you feel positive, motivated. It is working. It's guaranteed. You know how people try to prove to you you can make $1 online, and it's the first dollar. If you can make $1, you can make $1 million. Same concept. We're going to make it 5 or 10. It's not dollar, but it's different. Okay. So conviction is checked day 1. So let's say whatever amount of time it takes us, all of us, that Lily has 3 sales. Each sales earns her 35. It doesn't take a genius. I'm just telling you simple math. Do the math. 35, 35, 35, 70, and 105, okay? The cost is what? 100. She has excess of what? 5. She's in profit. Never pay. She got the whole business, the ability to sell it and do it again. Same thing goes for the 3, and it's not limited to 3. Just to be clear, it just takes 3 to break even. So it's not like a 3, 4 something. Just stay away from that. Okay, we're done with it. Okay, so just unlimited. You have 3 billion. You're gonna have 3 billion. Okay, but it takes 3 for you. No longer out of pocket. So if we succeed to do that with Joe, the broke poor person, we're not going to do the 1 billion at a time. Let's go after, everybody would go after 1. We're 1 million. We fix 1 million as one circle, one cycle. Rinse and repeat. That's what I wanted to share. I don't know if you're going to invite me ever again, Chris, but this is what I thought. I wanted to support you. I do believe in you, and I am very hopeful that this is a very sincere discussion that will lead us to the solution. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Ash, my number 1 brother. Well, wait, I got to put Marty there because he'll get all jealous, you know that. But
yeah, of course.
This is the push that I needed. You said some pretty amazing things today. I'm pushing myself with a lot of people, as you can see on here, who's been with us since we started this. Appreciate your wisdom and your words, because I learned a whole bunch of stuff in a few short minutes on the direction. And I do want to let everyone know that this is something that Ash wants us to do together. You understand, Ash's schedule is busy. He's always going to be part of everything, but we want him to keep going and doing what he's doing, because without on passive, there is no bless, because no one's ever done this before. No one's ever brought people together like this. And I'm still blown away by that. And once on passive, which I already think it's going, in my mind, it's going, it's strong, it's hard. And that's why I said, man, you guys have some wonderful ideas, but structure is everything. Education is everything. And we just got to keep doing this. Like I said, the people that are talked on here that are interested in each other's ideas, man, make that connection with those people. Build these little committees or boards or families, however you want, and let's build this. Oh, bless, like Ash said, is everything. Everything really that's wrong. So I'm really excited to hear him say that. And one of my favorite things he says is, and I write it down every time he says it, how you do anything is how we do everything. And he's absolutely correct, because if we work as hard on anything we do, and we take that much energy and put into Obless, we are unstoppable. It is curable. Maybe we can't fix diseases, but we can help people out with diseases that have been overlooked. And I thank God every day for coming into this family and listening to the advice of not just Ash Mufareh, my brother Marty, and every one of you guys. You guys inspire me. Mother Teresa can't even hold a candle. I can't even hold a candle, but I'm going to try. I'm going to give it 100%. All right. Because one day, as Ash says, when I leave, and I'm going to leave someday, when my great grandkid says, yeah, my grandfather, my great great grandfather was Chris Johnson. He was part of something called Obless, which you all know about today because it's a household name. And it's probably written on everything because that's how I see it passive. But Obless, to be remembered that you went out and you helped people do things. That is the greatest memory that I want to leave. And I'm doing it with millions of people, and it's going to keep growing. So, Engineer Mike, number one, I want to back up what Willow said. You are a brother. And I love you because what you did, everything you did, what you just did about helping Mark out last week was awesome. And I love it. But everything else you're doing, teaching people, Mike, that's good. Mike, go ahead. What you got, my brother?
Thank you, all our leaders. Good evening, Mr. Ash. I mean, this is very inspiring for us. When you come out here and you tell us, we want to really help to eradicate these situations in the world, poverty and all that. Telling us that we're looking for the poorest people, 1 billion people down there. That is what is giving us, when we want to say something, we say it with pride, and we know we are in good hands. I want to thank you for your directives. I want to thank you for everything you do for us. We'll make a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Ash, we're on, I know that your time is busy. I know this is a hard time for you at night.
Okay, Chris, I will go. Don't worry. I'll listen from you too.
No, but I appreciate you for what you do.
Of course.
To come on here, I think, we have a couple hundred people on here and we got 1,300,000 people. I don't expect them all to get on every webinar, but to me, this is a very important webinar because people are actually really coming together to help out a lot of people. Julie, I know that you wanted to say something. Julie, you want to unmute yourself, please?
Thank you, Chris. Mr. Ash, and you had just said it, Chris, how you do anything is how you do everything. I believe what you are doing in OnPassive is you are currently building that foundation. And we're talking about structure, right? That's one of the reasons why I see that you have the infrastructure starting. And it doesn't matter how big we are going, but our foundation, it's not strong, it's not able to hold the growth and everything. It's not going to be sustainable. It's not going to last long. So what Mr. Ash is doing right now in OnPassive is building that foundation, is building that infrastructure, right? And what we are doing here with Obless, it's building that foundation. And that foundation is everyone that are involved in Obless, all the angels, everyone that has that. But you know what? The best foundation is all in everyone's heart. It doesn't matter how much we wanted to do, but we have to really decide, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it for the rest of my life. It's Obless. It's something that we need to decide to do it. Right now, OnPassive hasn't launched. We've been involved. We know exactly what it is. We say that we do this and we do that. But what if when OnPassive launch? What if things that are going to change? Are we still in it? And that is a foundation, I believe, that we all need to start it. It's within ourselves. And I wanted to kudos to Chris. Chris Johnson is a person that exhibits that foundation, that heart, because every single one of us, if we truly see what he's doing and watching what he is saying, he exhibit that foundation. And I believe wholeheartedly it's what we are doing right now. It's not how we're going to do it. The how will eventually come. But if we are doing right now by building that strong foundation, have that infrastructure, have everything, single one of us are the infrastructure of Unpassive, right? And all of us need to stand strong in that foundation in order to have that infrastructure strong and sustainable. And once we have that, I believe the how will eventually come into its place. So that's how I believe, Chris. And I wanted to say, Chris, you truly exhibit the Oblast. And kudos to you, Mr. Ash, for seeing it in this guy I call brother. So that's all, Chris. Back to you.
Ash unmuted himself. Ash, go right ahead. Thank you, Julie.
Well, thank you. I was just going to say, like, don't worry about the time and all of that. If somebody's busy, they're not going to be here. If they have something more important, they can go. But how many times we've been on shows or things that we just realize they're just a total waste of time. And if you tune into any channel or show at any given moment of the day, any country, you're going to find a lot of nonsense. You're going to find a lot of nonsense. And it's just sucking up people's time. And it's just for selfish benefit. Just a couple of people are monetizing that time. No, here's unique. It is something that is worthy and it's going to make a difference. Is the seed and the foundation, as Julie said, for something rather will make a difference. And it's not for a single individual. It's not about one of us. It's about none of us actually here. Okay. Ultimately, it will help us feel better and accomplished, but it's for others that they need someone else to care for them. You just need to care about one person. Okay. So it is worth it. I don't regret it. You know, it's a priority. It's not a side chat to me. It is a priority. We said it. It's not a joke. We said, oh, bless. We said, oh, academy. We said, oh, women. Those are for a reason. If we do those three things properly and effectively, we have a better society. We have a better global population, at least, you know, down the road. Okay, because I told you there's some, you know, crazy maniacs we cannot fix at the moment. Yeah, I mean, the good news, God eventually will consider them. You know, he's not going to change the system, so they will be taken. But sadly, they're still with us. So we're going to have to foresee this temporary generation ahead. Okay, the generations to come. Let's say the DeGarmo's grandchildren, those are the ones that should not have any dealing with this. This should be something from the history, just like past. So I do believe it's effective. It's worth it. Don't look at the clock. Okay, we you know, we have on passive TV. It's live. Okay, so
You made a good point, Ash. If you really look back in the history, if you study history, I think it's very interesting. We've never really fixed anything. If you think about it, what have we fixed? We still have racism in 2022. We still have hate. We still have
poverty.
Poverty. I mean, it's connected all, but you got something that says, hey, we're going to do something about it.
Crime, wars just started this year. Yeah.
It's horrible if you think about it. What have we done? What have we accomplished since the beginning? I think we made it worse, so it's time to make it better.
Yeah. Think of 1969. If you were in Cape Canaveral, like in Florida, and witnessing, Neil Armstrong and his buddy going up to the moon, and that day they confirmed from there. If you would have been there, thinking, "Wow, I wonder, like 2022, where would be, the humanity if we are now here?" Can you imagine 50, 60 years down the road?
Imagine.
2022 is going to be unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, if we flip the picture, bring one person now and look back, they were better off.
Hey, give me your idea of what you said the other day about how we're going to change the shape of the earth or the face of the earth. Give me one example that's really going to make everyone, think about it more.
So the word is literally, so 3 words, unpassive, will reshape the planet or earth, however you define it. Literally, the word is physically and literally. Physically meaning, you know how you look at it, like look out from above? It's a beautiful, sparkling, marvelous ball that is green and blue. That will change. From the products that we invented. I wouldn't say it and just have a crazy idea. They're not necessarily digital products. That's what I want to be clear, because I've heard the recaps, okay? So just want to take advantage on and clarify that the restructure and the betterment of Earth as a planet, it will be visible, noticeable, with the naked eye and from, scientific measures as well. And it's because of a direct cause or of the impassive inventions. It's very simple, not complicated, it's not genius.
Thank you.
And I'm not talking about a paint, okay? The real Earth, okay?
That would be fun.
And I'm not aiming to rearrange the planets. I'm not going to get into that business, okay? Or
but
repaint them.
But it's
repaint
a possibility for you.
I don't like Jupiter. It should be more green, yeah.
Oh man, now you're making me really think here. But hey, I know we just had some hands up. You had Willow and Marty. Willow, I'm sure Ash's got a couple minutes, but he's gonna have to tell me, or I gotta kick him out because I know he's busy tonight. But Willow, go ahead.
I'm taking a break from my Indian people. Don't tell them Rupa, okay?
The other night, when we had that darling man, Mark, on, he opened our hearts so much. Everybody wanted to help. Everybody that was in the room wanted to make sure that somehow he knew we loved him. What if we created...
Who you're talking about, Willow?
Mark.
Oh, yeah, I missed that. Okay.
Could it be possible that we just need to see somebody that does need it, have it put in front of our eyes? Because a lot of people will say, yeah, I'll help. What if we created a list somehow of special people we knew that were in tremendous need? They don't necessarily have to be homeless. And then when somebody says, okay, I'll donate one of my positions to help this person, could we do something like that to open their eyes that the need is bigger than the people that are trying to help? Yes, but I know that when I was helping with the community and with women that were abused, and some of the women had no homes to go to. They were in the crisis center. They had 3 or 4 little kids. And we would get together and we'd put their names in a basket between all of us. And we would ask people, okay, we need 1,000 or 1,100 to rent the apartment to get them in it. And then we needed another 1,000 for this. So we were really doing our own crowdfunding, but it worked because they had a face that they could put on their need to help, if that makes any sense. And so when I saw Mark the other night, I was thinking, I wanted to help the reservations. I wanted to give the boys and girls their computers so they could compete in the real world and all of that. But then I seen Mark, and if I just had one other desire in life, is that I just had enough to give to everybody I want to give to. But there are people out there that I think need the face to see, even if somebody like, say, Lily had a special person in mind. She didn't have to give her name. She can come on and say, I've got somebody that really needs help. Anybody that wants to volunteer, email me and we can do something for them. Maybe create a reseller position like Mr. Ash is saying, just one. But I think we kind of need to bring us all together to show that we are going to make a difference and we can make a difference one little human at a time. And so that's all I wanted to say. I mean, I know I'm a Pollyanna and I can't help it. I was born that way. But I think that if
You
we
know the
start small,
starfish story, the little boy and the wise man walking down the beach, and they saw a bunch of thousands, tens of thousands of starfish on the shore. You know the story, right?
yeah.
Oh man, they're gonna die. Okay, and then the wise man told the younger boy that, well, why you say so? So he just took one, threw it back to the water, and it lived. It survived. Okay. And he said, yeah, but that's one. There's so many. You're not gonna fix them. He said, you do one, I do one, but I saved one.
One.
They both got in action, so they got a bunch. Then a current came and took them all back at once. So if you start with one, don't look like we have too many. We have 1 billion, or we have 800,000 that, suffering starvation and somewhat poverty. It's really not complicated. 1 billion of us look out for one person, and even we don't have to be 1 billion because 1 million can take care of a few. But then we're gonna inspire exactly what I said about India. We're gonna inspire. You're gonna inspire one more. The person that you bring in, they are actually gonna be more motivated to bring another one, and we're all gonna go to the top. Period. So the 1 billion becomes at the top of this global population, and then it would be fun. The good news about that, with the irony of everything, okay, I have a feeling they're going to be almost everyone on planet, not everyone, but almost everyone on planet Earth would have a username password. Okay? If that's the case, those 1 billion, they're going to be at some point, they're going to be in the business. And the top 1 billion now, the top most, prosperous and wealthiest people now, the top 1 billion, they're going to be on passive. So it's only the matter of the arrangement, because either you're going to be the leader or the follower, one of the two. Okay? So if we choose to be the leaders and bring those 1 billion as leaders, they're going to have the biggest, wealthiest people below them, following them. I just love it. I know it's crazy.
I love you.
But it's thank you. Yeah. So those wealthy, crazy, greedy individuals, we can come after them from the top. They're going to be in our business. They afford the business, no problem. But why don't we take care of the little guy first?
I'm for it.
All right.
I'm first
So
on the
Mark
list.
can sponsor Elon Musk.
Do you know what? Have you talked to Mark?
No, I have no
Oh,
idea
he is
if I
the
know
dog.
him, but
Jeannie, is he here tonight?
He's on here. Well, let me, if I can, I know Mark's battery is getting low. Ash, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to introduce you to Mark.
whose battery?
Mark is,
Oh, okay.
he's our new founder, but.
Not his
Gene-
heart battery, right?
Yeah,
His
no.
device
It's-
battery.
hey,
That's easy, no
Ash,
problem. We
he's
can
got
give
a
him a battery.
heart. He's got a heart and mind just like yours. Mark, if you could please unmute yourself. Gene Olivia actually connected with this gentleman. He's really phenomenal. Mark, you want to, Rupa will get you and Nathaniel will get you, but Mark, can you please unmute yourself?
Namaste, Ash. First of all, how are you, Mr. Ash?
I'm fired up. You see me? I don't run out of battery ever.
Thank you so much. Happy Ramadan for you.
Thank you.
Welcome. So we are very happy with you, Mr. Ash. First of all, I am salute your business thinking. On passive, don't understand, but I understand something on passive business. But right now I feel this is a huge business and blessed by very, very, very favorite product. So every moment I will enjoy this business. So I first time I will talk to you. So slightly I am nervous, Ash. So apologies me, but I will enjoy and always we are with you. You are go ahead, Ash.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Rupa. I know you've been dying to talk to Mr. Ash. Mark, I apologize. Mark, can you please unmute yourself? Gene, did you text him?
We have to
No,
smuggle battery to you. Where are you, Mark? We're looking for you.
Yeah, he is there. Are you able to unmute him for?
Yes, I asked him to unmute, but he hasn't replied yet.
Mark, we're waiting.
He's such a darling. You know what, Jeannie, is he outside a building? I see where he's not getting.
Where does he live? Where is he in the States? Where?
Pennsylvania, I believe.
He's in Pennsylvania, and he is outside. He's in a safe place.
Very good.
So
no battery?
I'm trying to reach him.
Battery is beeping. Could everyone please, could everyone mute your mic really quick? I'm trying to figure out where is that noise coming out from. Okay. Hold on. Is this a good ratio? It's still there.
That's India.
I think that was Advocate Jaspel that was creating the noise.
Yes, but there's the beeping still going on. I'll mute myself and let's give it a minute to figure
Yeah,
out.
there's some humming. I agree with you, Julie.
Yeah.
I think it's Julie.
I think it is Julie.
Do you have the washer going on or the dryer?
Hey, Mark, are you still on the Zoom? Do you want to unmute yourself and speak to Ash? He's here, the CEO.
Come on, I believe.
He's going to unmute.
Thank you, Gene.
Mark, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi. Do you have
Hi.
enough battery to talk to to the CEO?
Yes.
Hey, Mark.
Excellent.
How's it going?
Fantastic. I heard so much about you. My name is Ash. Very good to connect with you. I know you're in Pennsylvania.
Yes, I am.
All right. So are you going to run out of battery anytime soon, or do you have a few minutes to talk?
I have time to talk. I have battery power.
Fantastic. We just want to get to know you. I heard like wonderful things about you. Everybody's bragging about you. If Willow wasn't married or something, she would propose to you right now. Okay, but so what's the deal? What you got going on?
I'm homeless right now, and I've got
For how long
well,
you've been homeless?
I can do so many 11 months. I can do so many great things on earth. And I just have I have to go do it. And I've got you know, I have Asperger's, and people have doubted me and said I can't do things, you know, that other people do my whole life. And
How old are you now, Mark?
I'm tomorrow I'm gonna be 31 years old.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Like in 20 minutes, the 27th?
Yes.
Happy birthday. Wow. Did you know that? Everybody?
Thank you.
It's a birthday party. Wow. We can drink water at least virtually. Mark, I was homeless for longer than 11 months, so no big deal.
The weather is good, and I'm doing okay. You know, listening to music, and you know, I'm a positive guy, so I'm still positive, and I know things are gonna get better for me, and I'm gonna do great things, and on earth. And you know, I've learned so many things about different kinds of things. I've learned a lot about different kinds of things, like in the 31 years of my life so far. Like, you know, and it just happened to be at places that I didn't think I'd be at, and be around things that I didn't think I'd be around. And then I kind of like just learned from, you know, from what's going on there, like what I see there. And I learned from, you know, like just from like watching things, like when I see other people do things that are, you know, I learned from like I can just say, like, if they can do that, I can do it, and I can do it better. And like all I have to do is see somebody doing something that's good, or to see somebody doing something the right way, and I can just,
You know how
say,
some people are broke mentally? It doesn't look like you are one of those. So you feel that you're solid, you know, mentally. Your mindset seems to be in the right place. I have two quick questions for you, Mark, if you don't mind, because just in case we lose connection or something. Number one, tell me a little bit about your health and, you know, physical condition. And secondly, what put you in this situation?
well, right now my physical and mental health is good. I
How
do
good?
things. I do. It's real good. I do things for myself that make my health good. And
You're fully functional?
oh yeah. Oh
Okay,
yeah.
fantastic.
Like
Have you made babies yet?
No,
You think you can make babies?
I think so.
You're very functional then. What else? Okay.
Um,
Okay. So
well,
that's Chuck. Now tell me about what put you there.
homeless.
Yeah.
Or it just I was living at my parents' house, and I got older. I'm 31 years old. They
So you
are
chose to
all,
leave?
well, they're older. It's hard to live in a house with my parents when everything's older. You know, it's it's like it it just it's like the house is just not a good environment for
Did they
me.
ask you to leave?
No,
Uh,
but
did you have a plan to leave, or you just left? No plan B.
um, I
If you
I
left, how are you going to survive? You had a roof before.
I left because it wasn't really good for my health to live in the house. There's no washer, no dryer, no transportation to anywhere where I can get food and wash my clothes. The shower was broken, and
And where you
not,
stay now?
right now I'm sitting next to a stream, in the trees, and
But how do
the
you
weather.
wash and all of that?
I
So
just
is it any better?
use the creek, and to stay clean, and um, you know, you'll eat food, walk to the store. There's a food store nearby, and
You need cash. So when was the last job you've had? Have you worked in your life?
oh yeah, I've had 3 jobs. The last job I had was at a gas station. It was
When
a
was that?
gas. It was a gas station as an overnight manager in 2021. I rang the customers, cleaned,
Yeah,
did everything. That he had a whole
clerk. Yeah,
checklist.
that's good.
Before that, I worked at a produce stand selling fruit and vegetables, and you know, full time. My boss said that he was that he had wished that
Have
he
you
had done
worked in the last 11 months?
it. No, but I can
Any
work.
source of income?
I have SSI. It's Social Security money.
Oh, you have Social Security. Okay.
Yes.
What qualifies you for Social Security?
The Asperger's.
And have you tried to get a job in the last 11 months?
It, I haven't. I mean, if I, but when I'm not getting sleep, it's kind of hard to work on zero sleep. Like I do better, and at work I do a better job at work, so I can do the work right and do a real good job at it when I get
Of
sleep.
course.
And not getting sleep. I was the same way when I was in school. Like I always did better on tests and did better in on
Are
my
you
class.
getting enough sleep and nutrition these days?
Uh, I I think that nutrition, yes. Uh, nutrition, yes. Sleep, it's a lot better. I've modified, like I've changed I've changed how I, how I'm doing the homelessness that allow so that I'm doing the homelessness a little bit different than I was when I became homeless. So now I'm doing this a different way so that I'm actually able to get some sleep, and like I could work now if I
Where
was
did
able to
you
find
stay during the snow times last few months?
during the snow. I was on the sidewalk, and I just had to do it with like 5 blankets and 3 heavy thick coats, like lots of like warm coats and sweatshirts and blankets, and um stay inside of a sleeping bag, and like a really thick heavy sleeping bag, and I made it through the winter.
Do you consider yourself healthy?
Yes.
Do you consider yourself young?
Yes, I could run 500 yards like the speed of light and not feel tired.
So I mean, it's very obvious that you keep yourself positive. How do you do that?
I listen to music
Music.
and it sounds so good that it makes me feel like I can do anything on earth.
I thought you listened to Mari DeGarmo.
I'm sorry.
Okay, which music do you listen to?
Band music, a lot of trumpets, brass instrument music.
On the phone?
Yes. I like to listen to brass quintets, brass groups, guys that people that get together and play brass instruments, music on brass instruments, trumpets, slide trombones, tubas, baritones, any kind of trumpet music, brass. I also like to listen to music soundtracks from movies like Star Wars, the Star Wars 9 soundtracks, Star Trek soundtrack. Some movies have good music in them, but mostly I like to just listen to brass instrument music, like I was saying, like trumpets.
Mark, do you know there are 315 founders right now listening to you from the Passive on Zoom alone, and it's being live streams on multiple YouTube channels, and others are going to play it back sometime in the future, tonight, tomorrow. Okay, so it's safe to say that thousands of people are either listening to you or will at some point listen to this. Okay, I don't know if you feel this way. Do you feel like we're family to you on Passive Founders? You feel comfortable with us to talk? Okay. So would you share with us what's your plan as your family? You got the brain, you got the physicality, you got the you're young, you're a baby, you're a kid.
I'm gonna find a place to live. I'm gonna find
Which one is first? The chicken or the egg? You find a job first or place to live?
Well, I mean, I think I'll take anything I can find, whatever I find first. Something is better than nothing. The first thing I find, I'll take. If it's a job, I'll take it. If it's a place to live, I'll take it.
What about the gas station? They wouldn't hire you anymore, or they got somebody?
Well, at the time, things were a little bit different back then. He had an employee that was a criminal and was committing crimes, and just wasn't working I couldn't work with him. And
yeah, we don't need to get there. Mark, what do you feel about your situation? Do you feel sadness? Do you feel sorry for the way your life is now, or I wonder how you feel?
No, I feel positive. I feel good about things because I know that I can do great things, and I know I will do great things. I know I'll find a place to live. I'll know I'll find a job, and I'm going to. So I feel good about things. I feel positive about things, and I know it's going to get better.
It will. I mean, I don't see you missing anything. Just go get a job. Get a job, like anything. Like you said, just to survive. There's some good business owners. Doesn't have to be a corporate. Small shop here or there. Just when they see you, they see if you're determined or you're in need for it. They give you a chance. I've seen those people.
Every job I've had before, my boss has always told me that that he wished he had more employees like me, and that I do a good job, and that they want me to stay with them for a lot of time. Don't get a different job somewhere else. Just keep working here for me, because you do a good job. And I think that I think that I can do great things on earth at any time, like I can just really just like, just, I, I can do some pretty great things. And like,
You think you'll be a musician one day?
I think I will. I think I could be the next Bach or Beethoven or like Stravinsky, one of those guys who wrote music that's really good music that a lot of people know about. Like my mother taught music and played music her whole life when I was growing up, when I was younger. I learned a lot about it before I even got to school. Once I got to school, I did music for 9 years in school, and then once I graduated high school, I never went to a university because I never had the money to go to a university, but I just kept listening to music, and
What instruments do you play?
I can play the trumpet. I've never played a slide trombone, but I know I can play it. It wouldn't take me much time to learn it. It just, I can play the piano. I can play a mellophone. I can play a baritone without even.
I have a 2-year-old. He plays the trumpet too, and a harmonica.
I like the harmonica. It sounds good.
He's not professional by all means. He's just it's a hobby.
Good. Music, I think, is good. Like I think it can make anybody's day better. Like when people hear music and it sounds good. I don't mean music that does not sound good. I'm talking about like music. When people hear music that sounds good and it sounds real good, I think that it can make people's days better. Like if it's real good music and it sounds real good, and like somebody that's practicing makes people good at things. Like the more you do something, the better you are at it. And
what attracted you to Unpassive?
Huh?
What got you into Unpassive?
Okay, I was talking with Gene about Unpassive, and I think differently about things on Earth, and I like how Unpassive thinks differently about things and does things different. And there are like people on Earth people on Earth don't really, they don't like different. They're not. I mean, when I say they don't like different, like a lot of people think that things that are different, people that think differently and do things differently, people think that's wrong. People think that's bad. People think that that's not how things should be, is like different. But that's not right. Like different things are good. Like, and different things, you know, people that do different things, like that's a good thing. And like people that think differently is a good thing, because like people in the history of the United States of America and people in the history of the world, like in that when I was in school in textbooks, there's people who I read about in the textbooks when I was in school that did great things. Amelia Earhart, Lindbergh, like these people who flew airplanes, Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, Martin Luther King Jr. Like they did all these things that were different, but like really good things. And people saw like how good those things were in the end. Like when at first people might not have really like known like or understood why they're doing something different in the beginning, but like in the end they're like, wow, that person did really good things that were great things. And then now their names are in textbooks, and like I want to be one of those people. And people would be like, okay, this guy Mark Gladfather Mark Gladfelder did all these
If you
great
believe
things.
you will make a big impact, like in which area do you think you will make
Oh
it?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Science,
I don't care.
biology?
I don't care if people call me crazy. Like I, I think I can change the world, and I'm going to. And that's what like people said about.
We lost you, Mark.
And he's still unmuted. I don't know if
Yeah. Did you ever meet with him, Gene, or any other founder?
Yes, he's completely changed my life in the week that I've known
You've
him.
seen him directly?
Yes, I met him. He was sitting outside a store that I was going into. I said hello, and then I finished my shopping and came out. He was still sitting there, and I don't recall exactly what I said to him, but we struck up a conversation. I probably asked if there was anything he needed, and then he started talking, and I listened. And it was like 3.5, 4 hours later, I was late for the round table. He just poured out. I just listened. And
how did he
and
appear
then,
to you from the first, sight? Like crazy or
no,
hungry to show his potential? What did you feel?
intense and no eye contact. So wasn't sure what to make of me. And
So let's take advantage while he's reconnecting. On a scale 1 to 10, don't want to say how ugly, but how handsome was he? Like, what do you give him? 1 to 10?
I would say very handsome.
Okay, so he's like 8, 7.
Oh, I hate doing that. I'm not going to do that. I think he's a
Oh,
handsome man. I do. He could be my son, though, so let's not go there.
So he's handsome, he's young, he's ambitious, he's positive, he's super young. I don't know what's missing.
Well, the Asperger's has caused some challenges. That has not everybody is. When you talk to Mark for long periods of time, you start to see where when his mind is working on something. Some people will understand that, and some people will not. Some people won't have the patience. So all I can say is that I've met with him multiple times. I
He seems
cherish
to
him.
be good to go. Like he should.
I cherish him as a friend. I talk to him for hours and hours, and it's like there isn't enough time for us to talk about things. He's got so many ideas, Ash. And I actually told him today, I said, I can't guarantee, but it's possible you might be able to talk with the CEO, because I think you guys think you have creative ideas. He has ideas about space. He has ideas about so many things, Ash. He's just raring to go.
I feel his passion about music for sure. Yeah, there's something about
and
music
nutrition.
that he lights up. Yeah.
So I got him a trumpet. So I'm
You
getting
did?
it serviced.
Wow.
I did. I'm getting it serviced. So and he, it's not serviced yet, but I got to hear him play. So even on a trumpet that needs to be repaired, he made some beautiful music come out of that thing, and he hasn't played in a while. So he's really talented, and he's a cherished friend.
Does he ask for anything?
I will ask him, and he will tell me, and I go get it. And
No. Does he ask like for a help or for anything? Like, what does he? What does he wish to have? Well,
I think
he doesn't seem to be defeated by his situation. It's not like he's mentally like it's a temporary situation. I'll be okay.
I tell you what, though, the conversation from the very beginning to now has been a transition. So I think just having someone to talk with for long periods of time, it's like a healing. It is literally like a healing where you can get through some of the things that have not, it's like hope. Hope begins to take root, because he's been in a system where, he's gone and tried to get a bed and tried to work with community services, and it just hasn't worked out for him, whether it was, they didn't have room or any number of things. So you start to get, you just give up on the system. And what he does, like, he doesn't give up on himself. He's like, I'm just going to do
Sounds
it
like a
myself.
winner to me. Yeah, sounds
Oh,
like a winner.
he's a major
He's
winner.
He's probably
He's a beautiful human being.
When did he become a founder?
Officially, well, I told him like the first day, I was like, you are founder material. I mean, we talked about it. And so I gifted him a position. So he is officially in the system as a founder. And then Mike gifted him 3 positions. So tomorrow night, the 3 of us are going to get together and walk through getting those
So
funded.
he just became a founder.
Just a couple days ago, yeah.
Yes, on
In
his
the system. He's in
31st birthday.
Yeah, a little present. So
Fantastic. Wow, it's amazing.
yeah, and he understands it. And he's like, what else can I do? And are there more videos I should be watching? What else? I said, well, you know what, there's this and this. You could watch videos and webinars 24/7.
Yeah.
And I said, but you could go in and read the ebook. You can watch the YouTube videos of the leaders. He is earnest. He is asking what he can do. What can I do to contribute? He's a phenomenal human being.
Oh, definitely inspiring. Yes, very.
Yeah.
I mean,
you 2 are going to have conversations on
I
certain
pulled
topics.
out all I needed to know. He's handsome, healthy, young, okay, mentally positive. Like, I have no idea. This guy could be anything. So he's not missing it. He's into, the good stuff and seems to be knowledgeable or well educated. He doesn't run out of topics. So before you make a decision, Chris Johnson, and never invite me again, okay? Just to show you the number, we're gonna run some numbers, okay? Math. And when I came here, it was 170 people. Now close to 400, okay? And there are a few YouTube channel are open. All right, so I'm not damaging your business, okay? I'm not crashing your party.
What it was is we invited everyone to sing Mark Happy Birthday at midnight. I think I can't give you all the credit for that one now. Come on.
Mark, are you still with us?
Yeah.
I've been searching for him and he's not in yet.
No, I think his battery died. Ash, listen, I know it's after midnight. I know you got work to do. These people got to probably go to work in the morning. Some of them. I appreciate you, brother, for coming on here and picking us all up, because you seem to do that real good. I'm trying to learn from you. I'm getting a little better at it. But Joyce Hicks, thank you for coming on and speaking your words of wisdom into all the doctors and the people's opinions. Lynn Nakamoto, love you, my sister, for helping out with the coast and the advertising. Julie Wen, thank you for putting all the stuff in the back office and helping out with your wonderful words. Peter Shore, my brother, always, because Pete and I are a partner for life. Marty DeGarmo and everyone else that spoke on here. Ash Mufareh, you got the last word, and then we are out of here.
Well, thank you, Gene, for bringing Mark. It was nice to connect with him.
My pleasure.
Thank you also for mentioning him again, Willow and everyone. It was a treat. Okay, I heard all the buzz. Mark. Who's Mark? Okay, so I got to at least listen to him. I didn't visually see him, but that's good enough. We trust Gene's description. He's a good, perfect fella. I mean, I don't know what's missing, and I'm glad you brought him in. Hopefully, we will be able to add value. But he's an inspiration for sure. He's not broken mentally. He's totally fine. In fact, he could enlighten some of us. Yeah. So thank you, everybody. I don't know if Leon was going to say something. Rupa, was good to hear you. We are real people. You don't have to. Yeah. It's more important to listen to other people than me sometimes. Yeah. So, but we are here when it's possible. Tomorrow is going to be on Passive 360. And I'm told they're going to go over the what's supposed to be round table recap, I guess. Okay, so that's interesting. why don't we post it there? It's a good source of information. Like, it's totally. But I don't want to create an era of self-promoting. It's an exception. 360. It's for everybody. They don't promote anything on it, other than just giving the information. Leon, I've been wanting to connect with you. I don't know when you had the event in California. Julie, did you tell him? Okay.
Okay, I'm here. So I know that you guys want to close, and I came on kind of late because I had some power outage. But yeah, it's been pretty interesting. I've been so excited since yesterday. On the meeting that you were on yesterday, and I've been having so many conversation discussion. And Julie and I, it's just like we live next door, even though she lives 75 miles south of LA and I live 75 miles north of LA. We've had several discussions, and so there's so many things I wanted to say about yesterday, and then also about Oh Bless. And I thought about these things because Oh Bless is one of those situations where if we had a form, just like the guy Mark was on, there's so many different levels of poverty. We had a form, and then that we can categorize people, because some people I know that homeless, they living in their cars, but they have jobs. They just have bad credit. They can't get an apartment. They made some mistakes. Those are one category. You got some people who, I know a guy that lived for 32 years. He slept on the street. I saw him every single year for 32 years on Western Avenue in LA. But after the COVID, I didn't see him anymore, but he lived in the same place. That particular guy, I don't think you could have pulled him off of that street corner where he lived. And some people want to be off the street. So you got to have all these different categories. Some people just want clean drinking water. And you got to be able to categorize all of these people. And if we can build that form, because we have so many people on Unpassed that have so many different backgrounds. And then once we get all these forms and get everybody categorized, then we can put them all into groups and people can volunteer which group they want to work on. I heard a guy say he knows about logistics. He knows a lot about logistics. And see, that guy is the guy that needs to be working with groups for logistics. And I know some people who out there on the streets are educated, have PhDs and have all kinds of, they just ran into some bad luck. Some people have substance abuse problems that ran into bad luck. And you have so many different areas. And I just look at that. I get so excited when I see so many different possibilities by putting these forms together. And by and then we build a blueprint build a boilerplate blueprint on how we can tackle homelessness and tackle poverty and tackle feeding people once we categorize, and then pass that through some of the mental health specialists and see, or let them bless our list and stuff like that, and making sure we're working from the right direction, because everybody seems to think that you have to make sure we know what people need first, and once we make sure what people need, and then we can actually go from there. And yesterday you mentioned something, and it's all about infrastructure. Like Unpassed have many different infrastructures built into Unpassed, and Julie and I was talking about it, and I'm so in depth in the infrastructure business because I've done it for 27, almost 30 years, just for building infrastructure. For example, if you build a wastewater treatment plant, you can't build a treatment plant for the population. You got to build it for expected population growth. Just like Unpassed, we can't build Odesk for what we think. We got to build Odesk for bigger, because if you don't build it for bigger, once everything starts, they'll failure because it's not big enough. And I think Unpassed it have so many different possibilities, and the infrastructure has to be correct. It's just like if you size a pipeline to hold 1 million gallons and you get 10 million gallons, you're going to have failure because the water going to back up, and you're not going to have the pumps to move the water, just like Unpassed. And I like what you said. We're not in no hurry. We got to build it right. The system, unpassive got to be built correct, because once
not that we don't want to assume, just I'm sorry for that. Not that we don't want to assume, but which one is the priority? Doing it right or doing it fast?
Doing it right. Doing it right. You got to be done right. And I was talking to Julie. I said, you're such a genius in leadership and infrastructure.
Julie, Leon said you're just a genius, like pure genius. He just said that.
Yeah, just pure genius, because you thinking way outside the box. I mean, you thinking way ahead. You can't rush things. You gotta build it. If you build a school for 25 people and 100 show up, you fail, because you got to make sure you have scalable school.
Yes.
And everything got to be scalable. Yeah. And that's what I like about yesterday. And I've been so excited engaging people all day today and yesterday. And Julie and I talked last night. And like I said, it's all about the leadership and how important it is. And I just want to let everybody on this call know, I am so blessed to be working with Julie, because Julie, she's such a best leader. When she told me and she led me and we start communicating, and she helped open my eyes to a lot of things. And I just kept growing and growing and growing. And all because I had her as my leader. And if we had every leader, and a lot of people, I see the same traits online, Mr. Charles Lasson and Mike Williams, they these, and everybody else, that people that I'm not even mentioning name, Marty,
of course,
and Redford,
it's a big list.
It's a big list, and we have the right infrastructure. Anything can go. Anything.
Do you have connections with Chris Johnson?
Yeah, I don't have it, but yeah, Chris Johnson, I watch him talk all the time, and I'm watching him, and just people like this, like that, and we can move the world. We can move mountains, because
I mean connections like influence. Like I'm trying to get a bribe with him, because just in case.
Yes. Yeah,
he's talking to somebody at the moment, making a decision. How do we ban ash from future conferences? Just in case, you can talk him out of it. Tell him, look at the numbers, Chris, and reconsider. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And we have so many like-minded people. I don't think anything. I think everything is possible. Anything possible, everything is possible, because
no doubt.
So many like-minded people. And I always remember what you always said a long time ago. Bigger the team, bigger the dream. Bigger the dream, bigger the team. And we have all of that. But
like, also you have to understand, it's not just dreaming. Taking action is the key. Is the key, the distinguished difference between those who make it and those who are just they're just delusional. So I do believe that once you have the plan and the dream, it's just all about action. So we took unlimited action. We just opened it all the way. And I do believe to get where you want to go, you have to pay a price. Okay.
Yeah.
Not going to come handed to you. So, and it's been said that pay now, play later.
Yeah.
Or play now and keep wishing, but you will pay later. One of the two. So that's why I was trying to understand Mark, like he's got to be pushed a little bit more on getting a job. Gene, I don't know when did you meet him?
April 18th.
This year?
Yeah, just a week ago.
Okay. All right. So I wonder if he had like COVID like in the last 11 months or something. Yeah.
I don't know. He's extremely health conscious. Very picky about his nutrition and his food. Drinks a lot of water. Yeah, he's very.
Does he look 31? And I'm sorry, I'm not talking physicality. I'm just like you sometimes I have asked. Okay, does he? Because his voice sounded. His voice is older than 31. His voice.
Well, he was really tired tonight.
Yeah,
I think he had a hard day today. So
he's
he had
a little bit
started
more
to fall
upbeat.
asleep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he and I talked for hours earlier.
But
he
he
was
was
looking
picking up
forward
more
to getting
energy
to know.
as we went on. Yeah,
Oh
okay.
yeah. And yeah, I think he, like it's sort of like if you cleaned him up, scrubbed him, he has a short, dark hair, short beard. So he does keep his beard trimmed and
Yeah.
whatnot, and dark hair. But I did notice that his skin is almost translucent. Like he's definitely healthy. You know what I mean? Like where you can tell on
Wow.
people's skin. So I think it's just, if he had a place where he's showering regularly and he kept saying, if I had a kitchen, I'd be making smoothies for everyone. You know what I
But
mean? Like
nothing should stop him from. I mean, he can get a job like rather quickly, any job to survive, and then
Yeah.
start giving some classes from any place. Okay, even outdoors, trumpet or nutrition, music, something. Okay, he will make a living full time on academy plus his
Absolutely.
paid
He
job
has
until he
agreed
has
to
a
do
full-time income.
lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has agreed to do some lives, so we'll see how that goes. But he wants to talk to the world. You heard him a little bit. He wants to do great things. So it's just a matter of giving him the vehicle. So yeah, it was just.
Do you think the state, location-wise, has to do because it's like?
He said we're in Chester County, and he said there's just really not the resources and the support that he needs. And whether his dream is to have a place where people with autism and Asperger's, sort of like a support community where they can get everything that they need in an environment.
That's what
where
Elon Musk
they're
has,
not being.
right? Elon
I
Musk
don't know. I don't know, but that would make
said
sense. But he, because he says a lot of people, think he's crazy, or they think he has mental problems, or they think all these things. But I mean, I know better, and I've only known him a week. You know what I mean? So it's just some people are, as he said, they don't have the patience. And so it's, again, and I'm still learning. Every time I talk to him, I learn something more. So he is deep and wide. He's got so much to offer. But it's a little more complicated than, stuff with his family. He's had a rough road in a lot of ways. So he's had to work through some things. So it's not all just, it's a little more complicated than he shared. So, but just in the time that I've known him, he has blossomed. He really has. I think he just really wanted someone to listen to be honest. Somebody that would listen to him and value him. And he and I have a lot in common. Like music,
Wow.
We were both in marching band. We both were into drum corps, the precision of that. So we talk music, we talk, art. I got him some clay because he said he used to make sculptures. So I went to the art store and, got him some things that are going to re-inspire him. And I just think he just needed someone to be able to have no judgment about him. And I think he's awesome. I just want to talk to him all day. I just think he's a gem, and
yeah,
and
I just
he's
feel
going to
that he
change
needs
the
to
world.
move on
Yeah.
to like a practical, like not to take it easy, because 31, you got to have a stability in life and know where you want to go, and like what it says, your mind will make you rich or poor depending on how you use it. Put it.
Yeah.
So he has a brain, just like the way right now it's maybe comfort zone or something. I'm guessing he need to be pushed in a good way.
Yeah, I feel like and the way he has just sort of, jumped right into on passive, he doesn't, I think he has a photographic memory. He has definitely some, with music, he says he can hear it once and he can play it. Just in our conversations, he will repeat back things that I've said. And sometimes if he's not able to finish a thought, like if our phone conversation gets cut short, when we talk next, he will finish the thought.
Mm.
You know, his mind is incredible.
Does he know you sing?
Well, I sent some stuff.
Did you brag?
We were talking about it because he was singing his trumpet parts, and I said, "Oh, you're a singer too." I said, you and I are going to sing together. I think he has perfect pitch too. I think he's got a lot. He's got a lot of talents, and so we have a lot in common. A lot of topics that we both enjoy talking about. So we've essentially found a friend in each other that we can talk to about things that maybe we can't talk to anybody else about. You know, some stuff, spacey stuff that, you know, some people think is goofy.
Yeah.
But
Cynthia Brown always comes up with genius ideas. Okay.
Yeah.
So just reading what she says in the chat, I'm not sure exactly the details, but if that's what she meant, like, you know, just suggest the idea of having a free YouTube channel and start engaging, and you will start having followers, perhaps either to for unpassive or for his interest, but you know, then he's gonna have following and unpassive. That's like, it doesn't cost anything. So Leon, do you want to have the last word about yesterday? So because I have to take off. Yesterday you were live or
I was there.
playback?
Yeah, yesterday was so exciting about the infrastructure part, and you know, I know you was the way you was talking, and I know what you were saying. I know exactly what you were saying, and I just want I had other underlying discussion with other founders because I was so excited about what you were saying, and I understand infrastructure. So, you know, from a mechanical engineering perspective versus the technology, like the IT perspective. But I do know that at infrastructure, it got to be built to hold whatever you throw at it. And when and that's when you're successful, because scaling something and you thinking and unpassive is so huge now. And once we take off, we don't have time to slow down. Once we take off, to go back and fix something. So like I say, if you build it, they'll come. This is one of those situations where they will come, and they're going to come fast. And we got to have the staffing, the infrastructure, everything got to be in place. So like you say, do it now or you do it later. But later, people are not going to forgive you. You do it now before you put it out there.
Yeah. Right now for free. I hear you. Yeah. No pressure.
Yeah.
Little. Okay. Thank you. Forgive me, Chris. Okay. I will not come here for the next 3 hours. Guaranteed.
Hey,
It's all
thanks for
yours.
coming on.
Thank you. Thank you. I love you
very
all.
much. Appreciate your time, guys. Good night. I'm sorry Ash kept you up so late, but it's always worth it. We love you, brothers. We love you, sisters.
Thank you.
God bless all you. And happy birthday, Mark. Wherever you are, if you can hear us, we don't know, but happy birthday to you. And let's just do this, guys. Daryl Cook, Janet Butler, thank you for all your help also in the background with the notes. Let's do this. Say yes to a bless. And then passive is coming. Woo! Fire yourself up. I just woke up my daughter. All right, guys. Marty, don't do that to me every time. Will you tell him to stop picking on me? All right, guys. Marty, just shut the button off, will you?
Happy birthday to
Good night,
you.
everybody.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mark.
Happy birthday to Mark.
Happy
Happy birthday, Mark. Happy birthday to Mark.
Happy birthday. Not some flowers, not some
Happy
cake.
birthday.
No, not some
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mark.
Joyeux
Everybody.
anniversaire,
Bonne
Mark.
fête, mon Marc.
Joyeux
Bonne fête, mon Marc. Bonne fête, bonne fête. Bonne fête,
Love you
mon
all.
Marc.
Thank you so much for this great
Thank you,
webinar.
Chris. Awesome.
It was
Everyone.
awesome.
Thank you, Chris. Good
Thank
night.
you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank
Lots of
you,
love out
Chris.
there.
Happy birthday.